picture? Like the face of a sunflower?
Where are the spirals?
You see this math everywhere.
Welcome back to the Gnostic Informant, and you are about to attain true gnosis. And today we're just gonna do a little chill stream, if you know what I mean. We're just gonna hang out. There's already a super chat jumping up.
I dropped $1.99 super chat. What is the Orphic Vox?
The Orphic Vox it just means the voice of Orpheus in Latin. Vox means voice. That's it. It's not from anything ancient. You see it thrown around by, I'm guessing this is in relation to the Ammonites, I'm guessing, because they bring this up a lot. They like this. It is a phrase that is used in English a lot in the modern world, in the 20th century. I think Elizabeth Sowell, I think I pronounced her name right, was one of the first. She wrote a book called The Orphic Vox. And basically what it is it's the collection of Orphic mysteries throughout. Like, it's going back and looking at all the, the spells and the Orphic hymns and the catabasis and abasis, and putting it together into a cohesive sort of literary genre called Orphic Vox. Now, I don't know how the Ammonites use that phrase. That's how she would probably describe it, though. Otto Kern is another one, Orphic Vox. It's mostly modern. It's a modern term people use. I typed it in. I just typed it in Google, and the first thing that comes up is from Reddit is Amon Hillman Vox Orphica. Yeah, it's just modern made up stuff. This is not a phrase you find in any ancient text. Vox Orphica? Nope. Doesn't exist in antiquity. It's modern. Just like a lot of their stuff that they say is just modern theories. And they like to say, we don't do any theories. This is just the text. This is just from the text. No, everything you're doing is modern theory. The idea that Jesus took death-inducing drugs and then got crucified, literally crucified, nailed to a cross, survives that, though. That's not how he died. You can survive, right? Literally has crosses in his wrist, and he's sitting up there, and then the dude stabs him with a spear, and it says blood and water comes out of him, gushing out and shit. And it says he gave, and then, oh, no, he didn't die from that. He died from a drug-inducing thalassemia. Even though that doesn't say that, we gotta read between the lines, and it's there. Just have faith. And how did he resurrect? It wasn't a miracle, like the Christians all say, like the gospel authors themselves say. They don't even know what they wrote. Those idiots. It's because he took the antidote, through an anal repository. Does the text say that? No, it doesn't say that, but we're reading between the lines. It's just modern theories. In fact, there's a great clip by Ashley. And by the way, the reason why I was late today, I was talking to Ashley on the phone. She's cool as hell, dude. It's tough leaving a community that you're a part of. It reminds me of when I was in the church for 9 years. I was going to church for 9 years, and I was mentally checked out of it for like 7, maybe 5. Okay, maybe I was. The more I was most like, you're there, you have your fire, you're on fire in the beginning, and you're like, this is it. This is gonna be my life forever. There's no way I'm ever getting out of this. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing holes in the cracks in the wall, but it's hard to get out. Even when that happens, you gotta it's just like the community. They hold you up. Like, oh, I can't pay my rent this month. Oh, here we go. Everyone, the whole church gives you $20. Now you got fucking $700 for that day and then they're not asking you to pay it back. Like it's tough to leave communities like that, even if they are liars and deceitful and manipulators. That type of cohesive bondage is extremely, extremely powerful. And that's why a lot of these people, you see them, they're like, they convince themselves that everyone's wrong, but Amon's right. It's not because they actually are going into the text and actually like discovering, holy shit, Amon's right. It's because they want him to be right, because they have a community and they don't want to lose that. So it's a powerful thing going on. Community is powerful. So I get it. I want to play a clip that she actually put on this one right here. I think it's this one. So this is on my channel a long time ago. This is like a legendary clip right here where Amon Hillman, he asked Ruck what he thinks about the whole pedo theory that he made up. Carl Ruck, right? Legendary Carl Ruck. Everyone thinks Carl Ruck agrees. Carl Ruck agrees with Amon, man. He's got academic support. Well, let's hear it. Let's hear what he says. Oh, it's muted.
Was he molesting children, Carl Ruck?
Well, as you know, I don't think that Jesus existed.
He said, was Jesus M-wording children? Was he what did Ruck say? Let's play that back.
Was he molesting children, Carl Ruck?
Well, as you know, I don't think that Jesus existed. So I'm really not interested in whether he molested children.
I was gonna say something. Look at Amon's face. He's like, fuck. That was not the answer I wanted. I wanted him to agree with me. He just said, dude, that's stupid. It's a literary text. Even if Jesus did exist, this is silly. What you're doing is dumb. It's not academic. It's stupid. Was
he molesting children, Carl Ruck?
Well, as you know, I don't think that Jesus existed. So
by the way, you could tell this is old. I'm wearing my work shirt. I'm literally got out of work that day. I worked at Sumitomo Rubber at a factory. So, yeah, I went from working in a factory full time and YouTube to just YouTube. So I don't want to hear this shit about me being greedy. I worked my ass off to get this shit. Look, I'm literally wearing my Sumitomo Rubber shirt. And this is right before I ended up leaving full-time working, just doing full-time YouTube. I'm
really not interested in whether he molested children.
It must be nice. On the fact of working hard, real quick, it must be nice. It must be nice having to being able to just not have to pay your bills and having the government pay it for you or your parents. And then you can go on Discord all day and be like, yeah, I'm the muse. I'm chosen by the muse. And just be like a little kid with nothing, have no bills to pay. Maybe you have children and they're just off by, you don't have custody of them. They're just like, you don't care. Look at me. I'm so popular on Discord. I don't have to work anymore. I could just be on Discord all day and be popular. Feels so good. It's like the most immature shit ever.
Existed. So I'm really not interested in whether he molested children.
I was going to say something similar to that. It's like we can infer on what he did outside of the text all day long, and we can speculate on using what this sentence says and what that sentence says and put them together and look, we got, but really we just can't get to it. So I mean, and the guy whoever Jesus was in historically compared to what's in the Gospels, this is completely. It's like it's not even the same person anymore. The Gospels are just myth. They really are. It's purely myth, in my opinion. If there was a guy, the things he was doing on a day-to-day basis, we're going to have no idea ever. We're never going to find out what he did, which is close to saying pretty much there was no guy.
The stories told about Jesus, people telling the stories, were not trying to say that Jesus was molesting children.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
He got smoked on that because you have all these theories about Jesus doing this, Jesus doing that. None of it's actually in the text. It's all you reading into the text. You're not doing exegesis here. You're doing eisegesis here. You're reading your own bullshit, your own personal bullshit too. At that, I mean, this is Amen projecting his own fantasies onto Jesus. That's all this is. Projecting his own fantasies onto Jesus.
Oh, God.
And what happens as a result of that? When you have a channel that's dedicated to constantly on a daily basis, all you're doing is projecting your own fantasies onto Jesus about him being a pedo and him being a druggie, all the things that you would love about ancient Greece or whatever. You want to put it onto Jesus. What happens? Oh, you attract people. You attract a certain type of people, don't you? You attract a certain type of crowd. I always wonder, why did the Derek Lamberts of the world get so turned off by you? Well, you're putting out a certain message that's kind of creeping them out a little bit. But there's a certain type of people who hear this and they get it, they're into it. Why is that? What would cause someone like, and I'm not even talking about Ashley anymore, I'm talking about this. What would cause someone like this? What would cause someone like this to want to join Lady Babylon? Who's this? Some of you watching are like, who's this? Well, we're about to find out. There's been some leakage. There's some high members in the cult, talking about people who are organizing meetups in Dallas, right? And very, very well respected on the phone with Amen and Chewy. Well respected in the community, well loved. And it turns out, look at this is what they wrote. Our festival features esteemed scholars, experienced practitioners, insightful guides who are passionate about sharing their knowledge. Dr. Amen Hillman, Kenneth Wheeler, that maniac who thinks he's like the smartest man in the world, who like literally just tells people bullshit all day, he just makes shit up on the spot. That guy, of course, him and Amen are together. That's perfect. The guy who said Constantine invented Christianity, that type of nonsense, type of like flat earth nonsense. Him, Kenneth Wheeler. And who else? Oh, by the way, when Kenneth Wheeler was told by Ashley that this person abused their children, what did Kenneth Wheeler do? What was Kenneth Wheeler? Oh my God, thanks for telling me. No, he blocked her. Get away from me. Kenneth Wheeler said, I'm fucking going to Dallas. Fuck you. Block. So that was the first red flag. And then I guess Ashley told other people and they all ignored her. And then finally, after making such a big deal out of it, all of a sudden everyone started to pretend to care. What was I going to do? What was I going to show? Hello, this is the hello all. I'm going to make a statement regarding this. I was falsely accused. There was no trial, no jury, because the evidence was too weak to convict me. I accepted a nolo plea to allow my children to leave the captivity into which the government placed them. Which is what? So you pled to something you didn't do? What? And then it says, I have every court record that the government would allow me to have They would not let me see all the so-called evidence they had, which is, that doesn't make any sense. When you go to trial, there's what's called discovery. You can get everything. They had and wouldn't be happy to take anyone through the record who wants to know more. This is them right here. And this is them on Snappy's channel. You see the Hail Satan on the bottom? Hail Satan!
Oh, God.
This is who you attract. This is who you have on. This is why Zeus and Ganymede. Zeus has to have his Ganymede. Zeus has to have his Ganymede. It's the mystery. Zeus has to have his Ganymede. Yeah, that's who you attract. Look who you attracted on your channel. So Almond says, there'll be no more Dallas meeting. Do not pay for tickets. Thanks, Ashley. Well, too late now. Ashley's out of here. You know, playing it off. And I have some comments on this whole playing it off thing, right? And they're all like, hell, Ashley, for finding out. Nice catch. Well, this is the weirdest response ever. We don't play with people who abuse kids. Not now, not never. Except for when you did it. When you were at St. Mary's, you played with yourself and the other kids on campus who you abused sexually and assaulted, and you got fired for it. You are now head of security. Next workshop, we should talk. You probably just saved someone's life. This is the weird part. What? Get this. You just probably saved someone's life. Maybe mine? Maybe Ken Wheeler? Hey, someone contact Ken Wheeler and tell him to bail on Texas. Send him the article. We should have him on Lady Babylon. Wait a minute. You probably saved. What about the kids' lives that you could have saved who could have been? I don't know. I'm just saying, out of all the people whose lives were saved here, Ken and Amin are the one on the top two. That's the first thing he thinks about. Myself and my high guest, because he don't fuck with these people in these discords. He's not talking to these people that much. No, there's no way. He's just it's his army. He needs them to be his army, to go find sources that support. Go and fight for me. Go and find fake sources for me, or go and find sources that look similar to what I'm saying and put them out there so people think I'm right. That's all you're good for. So then he emails her and says, tell Neil he was too stupid to make it through Greek. You are disgusting. That's what he says behind the scenes. In the front of the scenes, in the exoteric world, he's like, good catch, Ashley. Good job. Yeah, you're the new head of security. Behind the scenes, you are disgusting. You are disgusting for what you're doing. You're tearing us apart. And by the way, I didn't even talk to Ashley till today. This is absolutely correct. I didn't talk to Ashley till today, till right before this stream. You have a bunch of child abusers in your group. All I said was about Neil was he told me to watch out for them, and I stood up for them and didn't listen. What the fuck? That's crazy. And by the way, he has to throw in this bullshit lie about me not being too stupid to make it through Greek and this is what's so crazy about Ahmed. I think he's an atheist. I don't think he believes in anything he says. He's an atheist because nobody would just flat out lie this much in a Machiavellian sense, because he knows what actually happened, and everyone knows what actually happened. Everyone knows that I stopped taking Greek courses from him because he was doing 10-person classes only. Not because I couldn't make it through. He wanted me to start over and start with 10 people in a class and pay the same amount of money, $50 a week or whatever it was, for 10 people classes, 10 people in a class. I said no. And I went and did other Greek. I've been doing Greek ever since with Steven. So it's funny. He can't be honest. Even in a situation like this, he can't just simply be honest. He's a compulsive liar. Compulsive liar. Like the worst compulsive lie I've ever seen in my entire life. He can't go 2 seconds without lying about something. So let's look at this article. The article says, acupuncturist who gave birth to triplets at age 49 after struggling to get pregnant is arrested for beating all 3 infants, leaving them with broken bones, bruised faces, and brain damage. This is the leading Ammonite right here. This is the organizer of the Ammonite festivals right here. This is who is attracted by Amon Hillman's content. This is who's attracted to this.
Oh, God.
This is who. Oh, I hear.
Oh, God.
You know that Jesus was abusing children. He was extracting drugs from their bodies, getting high off of it. And what do you know? Who ends up showing up on your doorstep? An acupuncturist who beat their children. Ends up in the back rooms of your cult. Is anyone surprised about that at all? I'm not. No one should be. No one should be. And there's probably way worse shit going on. Probably way worse fucking people in these groups too. Way worse. The people who are attracted to that message, there's something wrong. There's something seriously, deeply wrong. Something seriously, deeply wrong. Something going on deep down that makes you follow follow this all the way to its conclusion and think that he's not bullshitting you or that he's being good faith in this as an academic endeavor. Something seriously wrong with this. A Lehigh Valley woman has been charged with battering her infant triplets. I'm a twin, dude, so I hear this. This is horrifying. Lehigh County prosecutor said Thursday that 52-year-old Ann Henry of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, injured her children in September 2016 when they were 8 weeks old. 8 weeks old.
Oh, God.
8 weeks old. Prepubescent children. When they were 8 weeks old. One infant suffered a broken arm. One suffered a fracture. The third has head trauma. Look at this. 20 months. The child suffering bruising due to lack of oxygen or blood flow to the brain, as well as a broken leg. All right, so people go, well, wait a minute. He jumped in and he put an end to it. You know who else jumps in and puts an end to it? People like this.
At Backen_Pan_Danny B's dropped $2 super chat. Those who put drugs before all else have no morals.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Bach and Pan, you're going to love this interview that I did today with Vivian Nutton. Because I asked the question about early Christianity and drugs, and it's a lot more nuanced than even I thought. It's more in the middle, like how we were talking about. So there is no position of the church in early Christianity on drugs. There's a wild ranging of positions, and that was pretty interesting to hear.
Science dropped $5 super chat. They're called laughers. Evil exists if you don't know that already you're lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what else? You know who else speaks out against the children, speaks out for the children like Amon does? This guy right here.
The previous administration also lost nearly 300,000 children. Think of that. They lost more than 300,000 children, little children, who were trafficked into the United States on the Biden watch, many of whom have been raped, exploited, and abused, and sold. Sold. Nobody talks about that. The fake news doesn't write about it.
Do you really think he's being genuine, this guy right here? Oh my God, Donald Trump speaks out against the children being abused. He must really care. So when I hear someone like Hillman saying, I'll never stand for anyone who abuses children. Not now, not never. Dude, you already got caught, bro. It just sounds horrible coming from you. Look at this.
President Trump saved over 62,000 children's lives. Some of these children were in sex trafficking, we found them. Some were in forced labor. Some were being mistreated. I can't even discuss some of the mistreatment we found out about. President Trump's
the greatest president ever. You really think that? Oh my God, do you really think Trump is really the one that cares about these little children? He said it. He said he does. He said it. He said it right there in the video. Oh, really? What about the Epstein files? What about that? What about the Hillman files, we should call it? Does that not count either? Which was even more recent than the Epstein files? All the stuff about Trump in the Epstein files was like decades ago, or 7 to 10 years ago. This guy was in court in 2015, I think it was, or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? I think I just saw it too. Where did I put those files? I had a bunch of screenshots of those files. I don't know what I did with them. But yeah, you see, oh look, Donald Trump. They said he passed this law. He really cares about the kids. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, what about the Epstein files? Do you really think him saying something on TV one time cancels out the Epstein files? You know what I mean? Where did I put those freaking files? Maybe I put them in a different folder.
At Science dropped $5 super chat. Dems are the definition of cope.
Dems are the definition of cope. Nice, nice. Where is it? Did I really lose that file already? You know what? I could find it. I could find it somewhere else. I sent it to somebody. I mean, do I have to remind you guys again? I told the Ammonites if he agrees to do this debate, I'll stop talking about it. I said that. I said, I'll stop talking about it if we want to do a debate. Let's see if I can find it here. Here it is. Here we go. So yeah, Donald Trump says he look at this. This is what he says right here, right?
With many others, they lost children, little children, and children, 100,000 children, little children, who were trafficked, 100,000 children, little children, who were trafficked into the United States. More than 300,000 children, little children, who were trafficked into the United States.
Wow, he seems to really care about these children, right? He seems to really care about these children. What about the Epstein files? And the reason why I'm playing that is because I want to remind people. I want to remind people of this. Hillman did in fact sexually harass students and commit misconduct. Hillman admitted in writing that he stalked a St. Mary's student, scaring her. Hillman admitted in writing during an investigative interview that he twice went into a student's dorm room. Hillman sent emails to a St. Mary's student asking about sexual injury. There is simply no credible basis for Hillman now to claim that he did not commit misconduct and did not sexually harass students. Therefore, truth is a complete defense to Hillman's claims against St. Mary's. I've already showed this, but I'm just going to remind people again. Why is there people being kicked out of Almon's cult for people digging up their past and they're abusing their children? I wonder why people are attracted to Almond Hillman. I wonder why. I wonder what type of people are really into this shit. I wonder who it is. The greatest people in the world, the highest levels of society are all coming together. All the greatest minds and all the greatest thinkers and all the people with reason and logos and justice and all the great people They're all behind Amon Hillman, aren't they? Aren't they? Hillman told the student he would be watching her. She literally ran away. Suddenly, I was alive. This is a quote. She literally ran away. Suddenly, I was alive. In her deposition, Myers conceded that Hillman's conduct was stalking, both under St. Mary's sexual harassment policy and under any classic definition of stalking. Oh, it was just St. Mary's. They're a Catholic school. They just didn't understand them. Under any classic definition of stalking. Hillman asked one of his male students, "You like to feel the feel of a lady's silky negligee? Would you prefer a garter or a choker?" Hillman told the student that she's the rabbit. She is next. It's time to feed. That he ran into the rabbit and was transferred. He's the wolf and she's the rabbit, he said. That's what this means. He said that he said that he made SL sing for him. But he says he should not have done that because she reached inside him and took a little piece of his soul, their voice. All right. I just wanted to give an update on what's been going on with those people. They're in shambles. It's not looking too good. Let's see what the comments say. I'm glad you got a hold of Ashley. Yes, I did. Hit the like, guys. Appreciate that. This clip is so good. You were wrong and I was right. You were mean. You owe me an apology. Mythicism for the win. That is a good one. That is a good one. That is a good one. Oh, yeah. All right. So, I wanted to give another. I don't want to go too deep into it. It's not my thing to tell. I do want to give another. So, before I move on, there's something I want to address. There's an Ammonite pamphlet going around. I don't know how I got a hold of it. This is even from Ashley. This is from someone else. There's a pamphlet going around, and it's teaching them how to use the TLG, which is funny. Ammon didn't even know what the TLG was until a couple of years ago. I remember bringing up the TLG to him before. He thought it was a CD-ROM. He didn't know what it was. He just figured out the TLG a couple of years ago. He's like totally behind on TLG, but now he's obsessed with it because now he can use it because you can use the TLG in a very dishonest way. You can do word searches and you can find proximities of words and you can make things. You can just try to massage the data a little bit. So he's teaching him how to do this.
At Live the
I'll show you what I mean.
$5 super chat. Before you see the Odyssey, I recommend seeing 2 minutes of Jonathan Peugeot's recent video. The
I saw
Odyssey
it.
is Christopher Nolan's trick.
I already saw it. Obviously I haven't seen it yet and I'm looking forward to it. I understand what he's saying. I think he might have, I actually agree. I actually predicted what he said a year ago. And if you don't believe me, ask Lev Polyakov. I told him this. He's the one who knows. He's my witness. About a year ago, when the movie was barely even finished, it was still being worked on. I told Lev, I said, all this casting shit, it's all just to get people to think to talk about
Danny
it.
B's dropped $5 super chat.
1 second, I'll come back to you.
Everyone knows ice emoji and the Israel emoji army are the most moral. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. It's wild that the most SA aggressors and protectors hide behind religion.
Yeah.
The worst make cults. Happy cat face emoji.
Yeah, it seriously is. It really is. I'll come back to you in a second. I told Lev about a year ago, I said, all of his casting stuff is just to get people to talk about the movie, and it's gonna blow up. It's exactly what happened. Everyone is talking about the movie. It became the biggest political talking point for the last couple weeks. The movie comes out, now it's breaking records, box office records. That's what I said. I said, Lev, I guarantee you the movie's gonna be good. He's like, really? I'm like, watch. The movie's gonna be amazing. Everyone's gonna love it. Even people who said it was bad, even the right, even the chuds are going to like it. And it's true. A lot of the chuds like it. Not all of them. Some of them are really sticking to their guns and saying that they just don't stand for Helen of Troy being black and whatever. Doesn't bother me that much. It's just a movie. Like it really seriously, it's just a movie. Like the Iliad will always be, the Odyssey will always be the Odyssey. And it's funny because a lot of people don't even read Greek. They don't actually read the real Odyssey. Not saying that I've read the whole thing from in the original Greek too, although I have read passages of it in passing in original Greek. But like, do they really care about the Greek, or do they care about? I mean, maybe they do. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying there's not authentic people with those thoughts. Homer definitely is. Homer's a real guy from Greece who cares, and he really was upset that they didn't cast Greeks. Fair. That's a good point. But I knew, this is what I told Lev. I knew this was Nolan is not going for accuracy here. Nolan's going to make his own movie. It's going to be like Dark Knight. It's going to be like how the Dark Knight redid Batman. He didn't stick to the comics, really. He made his own thing. That's what I think is going on here. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And yeah, exactly. These people, man, they attract you. If you start to see or you notice yourself around a certain type of people, it's because of you. It's what you're attracting. Think about that. That's something to seriously think about. I appreciate the super chat. So there's this pamphlet going around. Let's see if I can find it. This. And this is so perfect. This is such a gift. Whoever put this together, I don't know if it was Snappy, if it was Amen himself. I don't know. Maybe Madeline. I have no idea. But it's for the Ammonites. And it's teaching them how to basically produce sources to support the Ammonite cause. So they use and you can see they're going for the word Satan, because I've been very vocal that Satan does not exist in Greek. Satan is a transliteration. It's not a word in Greek. It doesn't exist at all before the Septuagint, which is true. It's a Hebrew word. It's a Semitic word. Notice how they can't admit that here. So they write, look at this. This is so dishonest. The following set of instructions relates to the text word Satan, by which we aim to find every source that contains a reference to this word. That is, we are looking for all lexemes containing the STR, which is weird because Satan is not STR. So why would it be from this STR root? Isn't that funny? They're like roots containing STR. This is one of Amen's old classical theories, that there's this STR sacred thing going on. STR roots like Asteros and whatever. As it appears in various forms, the word Satan, namely Satanas, Satanel, which is a name of some sort of another name for Satan, and then Satanikos, like one possessed diabolically. These are all Christian terms, by the way. None of these are from ancient Greece. These are all post-New Testament words. Now, Satan does show up in the Old Testament as a transliteration, but the word in Greek is diabolos, which he actually admits here. He actually admits it right here. He says, such as Satana diabolarche, satanic devilish overlord. Satan plus diabolos, devil. So slanderer. So he actually correctly translates plus ruler. Compounding is highly productive feature of Greek. So then he writes, he or she, I don't know who wrote this. The former shows sources for a particular lexeme, Satanas, while the latter gives the definitions of the lexeme. The two types of searches complement one another because we want to capture every related source related to Satan. We want to search for every lexeme related to Satan. Conveniently, This can be done by searching simply with Satan or Satan, since these letters begin to form every search. All right. Watch what he does here. He's like, you can go to the TLG here. Here's how you search. Here's all the words counts for Satan. And this is where this is such bad gaslighting, such dishonesty, such like pathetic little weasel dishonesty, because they can't admit, because this is a big deal. Satan is they're all Satanists. They say Hail Satan every single day. You just saw Hail Satan in the screenshot with the child abuser. Should I remind you? Let me see if I can show you guys one more time. You guys just saw this. Here's the child abuser. And there's Pamela going, Hail Satan, Hail Satan. And they don't even read. And this is what's so funny about this whole thing. They all hate Hebrew and think Hebrew doesn't exist. Hebrew is literally where Satan comes from. They're all saying, Hail Hebrew Satan. They're all saying, Hail Hebrew accuser, Hail Hebrew accuser, or slanderer, right? Actually, I'm their Satan if you think about it. I am Satan. I am the dark demon. Wait, hold on a second. Hello. 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 There we go. My name is Ho Diabolos, the devil. I am the slanderer. I am Hasatan, the devil of Amen Hillman. All right, that was fun. No, seriously though, I am technically a Satan to them. I am their Satan. So they're all hailing me. If they actually sat down and thought about it, they would realize we're actually hailing Neil, because we're hailing our accuser, slanderer. In the word in the Hebrew word is Satan. It's not Greek. All right, so back to this packet, this crazy, stupid packet. So they find all the searches, and now look at this. Notice how it's all Christian sources: Origin, Gorgias, Menachus, Chronographer, Gorgias. These are all Christian sources. These are all late antiquity, Byzantine, or later. These are all Christian sources, right?
At Science dropped $5 super chat. Most of these people were probably touched as a child, and they are gravitating back to what's comfortable. There are books on it.
No, this is actually serious though. This is probably a reality to a lot of this stuff, which is like, it's fucked up. I don't even want to laugh at that, but that might be a serious thing that's happening in that group. So he shows a bunch of so then he says you can also use the Greek keyboard, and tells him about the Greek keyboard. And then he shows Sukkos is in Homer, whatever. Not sure what that was about. Not sure why they had to digress to that for some reason. Anyways, I guess they're just teaching how to use TLG. So he goes, your search results should look like this. Satan. Now, if you type in Satan, with the way he did the search, with the full corpus, it's now going to find anything that has the front word Satan in it, the stem. So it's also going to come up with words that aren't Satan. So watch the dishonesty now. Theophrastus mentions a plant. The plant is called Sataneos. Now, that's not Satan. But he's dishonestly throwing the word in with Satan to make the whoever his students are. He's trying to pretend that Satan is the same word as Sataneos. That would be like me saying the word The word ball and ballroom are the same. So I can throw a ball, and let's hang out at the ballroom. It's the same word because they both have B-A-L-L in the beginning. They literally are two completely different words that mean one of them is a building, the other one's a ball that you throw, a thing that you throw around. Let me think of another example. Let me think. I'm doing this. I should have had some examples of this. Fork and forklift or something. Or how about pastor and passport? Pastor and passport are the same word. They both have P-A-S in the front. Why not? What about standard and stance? They both have S-T-A-N at the front. This even closer example. 4 letters. Satan, right? Standard and stance. Think about how many. You can think of 1,000 examples of words that have the same stem in the front, and they are so dishonest because they're just hoping you're dumb enough to go, "Whoa!" He typed in the word Satan and he got Theophrastus. Theophrastus is from the 4th century BC. That's before this. That's right before the Septuagint. Or it might be around the same time, but still, it still would be before. Yeah. And you go, whoa, Satan comes from Theophrastus. And look what he writes. Instead of correctly going, by the way, Satanios is a different word. This is what he says. In the TLG's full corpus, the earliest source for Satan is identified in the Septuagint. These are the results that Ammon shows us in the reading group. However, in the abridged corpus, the earliest attestation is coming from Theophrastus. Whoever wrote this literally just lied to these people and told them that the word Satan exists in Theophrastus. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. In fact, the word Satanios isn't even spelled with an S-A in the beginning. It's actually S-eta. That's like sigma eta. There's different dialects of it. This is a rare dialect that he pulled up in this Theophrastus copy from 4 BC. So this is a later 4th BC century. This is a rarer. I'm sorry. This is a rarer. I looked this up last night. Let me see if I can find it again. Hold on a second. Give me a second. You got to see this. Actually, let me just keep reading this since we're on the page. So just look how dishonest this is. This is just absolutely mind-blowing how dishonest this is. He goes, Theophrastus is the oldest. This guy thinks he discovered an older form of Satan before the Bible. Because they feel the pressure from me. This is what's going on here. They heard me say Satan is a Hebrew word because it is. It exists in Arabic. It exists in Aramaic. It exists in Syriac. There's different words. There's different cognates of Satan, Satana, which has to do with like pleading a case against somebody, accusing somebody, or being in opposition to somebody. That's what the word is. It exists all over Semitic languages, going back all the way to Akkadian in Babylon. And it doesn't have anything to do with Greek at all because Greek has their own word. Diabolos is the Greek word for that. That's why the Septuagint hundreds of times uses diabolos and only twice uses Satan as the transliteration. But they don't tell you that in here. They're just dishonest. They're just completely not going to tell you that information. They do not want you to know that. Instead, he lies and says, this is coming from Theophrastus. Unfortunately, you will get different search results if you are using the abridged version. This is very important to bear in mind when conducting research. Search results from the full corpus return 5,000 attestations for Satan, while abridged version only returns 1,000. So this was weird. He went from lying right here. This is a lot of liars do this. They'll lie and they will immediately roll into a different topic. Just so you can't, like, you ever notice when you talk to someone who's lying and they'll go like, you'll be talking to them and they'll go like, yeah, I have $1 million in the bank. Anyways, you want to go to the store tomorrow and talk to them? And then you're like, wait a minute, what? You just said you have $1 million? You're lying. Like, they don't, but they want to immediately change it up and go, unfortunately, you'll get different results. Instead of addressing this or explaining why he's saying this, or because he just lied, he just changes it up. This is like textbook dishonesty. So he points to Theophrastus, right? Septuagint. Notice how it's a different word. Look at Septuagint. You just have Satan, 5 letters. Theophrastus, Sataneos. I'm just translating it in English for everyone watching, so people in English can hear what I'm saying. It's not the same word. Now, someone might go, but it's a different form of the word. No, it's not. I'll show you why. This person writes, further, particular search Satan, the abridged corpus shows a word that the full corpus excludes. This also happens to be the first source in the word sataneos. They spelled it wrong. Staan. They spelled it wrong. There's a typo here. Appears twice in the abridged version, but not in the full. But you already told us that. I don't know why you doubled up. So he writes, the absence of sataneos in the search results from the full corpus, despite appearing in the abridged corpus, reflects differences in the TLG indexing rather than the true absence of text. But notice how he's begging the question here. He's begging the question. You never established that sataneos is the same word. This is not the word Satan. This is not the word Satan. This is not the word Satan, for like not even close. As I pointed out, this would be like saying bee and beer are the same word. Bee and beer. You drink beer and a bee. Bzz. That's the same word, guys. Same word. Because they both have BEE in the front. Right? Trying to think of another one. Watch this. So the word same, S-A-M-E, and the word samurai are the same word. They both start with S-A-M. Samite and sample are the same word. They both start with S-A-M. Watch this. Marble, and martyr are the same word. They both start with M-A-R. Marsupial and martyr are the same word. Like I can think of a million examples of words that have the same stem and are not even closely the same word. But they have this weird Greek theory about these word family things. And they want it all to like be some, it's bullshit. It's just pseudoscience, dude. I don't know how else to explain it to you. I'm trying really hard to make this sound simple. It's bullshit. This is not the word for Satan. This is made up. So what does he try to do here? He goes, Sataneos is in fact the name of a type of medlar tree. Oh, okay. Now we get an actual definition. This is actually correct. So it's not Satan then. But they're going to say that Satan is a drug. So it is this medlar tree. And according to Theophrastus, Galen, Dioscorides, and Hippocrates all mention the medlar as being astringent and constipative, having a binding effect on the stomach. So then he points to it right here, Theophrastus. So then he says, instead of the next normal thing to say, they're not the same word. One of them's a medlar tree. The other one has to do with being an accuser or some sort of adversary or something to do with that, right? No, he just goes on to the next sentence and goes, the earliest source for Satan which happens to be in the both full abridged, is found in the Testament of the Patriarchs. Thus, we will look at how to examine this source in much more detail. So he just totally lies and changes the subject right around the spot. That's it. He just completely lies. It's literally just the most blatant, dishonest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The most dishonest thing. And I'm surprised. Whatever happened to Satan being from Saturn? I thought that's what you guys were going with. Thanks, Cross Bible, for the $1. Appreciate you. Me and him recorded today with Dr. Vivian Nutton on ancient medicine. We had some connection error issues, but I think because we did local recordings, I think it should be good. So now I got to show you what this word actually means. Let me show you what this word actually means. For some reason, that came in really late.
At Cross Bible Official dropped $1 super chat.
Where is it? All right, so the real root of that word, here's a linguistic breakdown. That word, here we go. That word, which is not Satan, comes from, actually, he already showed this, sataneos, but there's this is a dialect. It's not from SAT or STR, right? It's from S-eta, sigma eta. It's got a different vowel. See? Setanion. It's got a different vowel there. It's not S-A. And then also S-I. So you can see it's already spinning all the way off into a different etymology completely. S-I-T. So now, according to them, S-I-T is also Satan. You can just make anything into Satan now. You know what I mean? And look at this. So if you break down the etymology of Satanios, Seta, the word Seta means year or annual. The name of the plant is literally like, you know how you say annuals? And you call plants annuals? This is a common thing. So you have Seta, and then you have eos, which is a standard adjectival suffix that comes to denote possession. And then the new is called the epenthic or connecting consonant. This is an action. So if this person was honest and wanted to teach people actually what this word means, they would have found this out very quickly. They would have found out that sataneos is from seta, which means years, and then it might actually be connected to a different word relating to like satiated or whatever, because that word has to do with years too. You can hear the etymology in the Indo-European seta, satiated, years, right? Saturate, like that type of thing. So epenthetic or connecting consonant, often found in Greek adjective formations. The root stem is the dialectical forms, the word year. So it literally means like annual plant. And it says the root is seta, the connecting consonant is the new, and then the suffix eos. So now this is the reason why this is important, is because it's not even Satan, it's seta. The word that's actually being the root that they're actually looking for, that they're trying to connect Satan to, doesn't even have an N in it, or let alone an R. I don't know where they're getting the R from. There's no R dropped out. It's literally seta with the connecting consonant and then the suffix. So the word is not Satan, it's years. And then you have a connecting consonant, and then you have a suffix. Prefix, connecting consonant, suffix. So here's another example of that. Just so anyone can know what Mike's. Give me another example.
At @Backen_Pan_Danny B's dropped $5 super chat. In etymology, root words have connotations. The meaning of words are based on their roots and application. You can't just give meaning not found lol.
Exactly.
Tau sigma eta tau nu epsilon iota omicron nu is a neuter noun, used as the plant or fruit name.
Yeah. I don't know. My whole thing is glitching out right now. I'm getting all these different super chats at the same time. Absolutely right. Context matters. That's the whole point.
Danny B's dropped $5 super chat. In etymology, root words have connotations. The meaning of words are based on their roots and application. You can't just give meaning not found lol.
Yeah. Exactly. The context is what matters. You can't just. That's why I brought up butterfly, and they don't get it. The whole cult does not understand what I meant by butterfly. They're all like making a big joke out of it, and it's all nervous laughter. That's what it is. It's nervous laughter. Like they can't handle being debunked, so they have to like overcompensate for it by like making up a bunch of jokes about it. But if they actually sat down and thought about what I meant by butterfly, they would go, "Oh my God, he's got a point." You don't translate butterfly a piece of butter that flies, because that's not how it's used in English. When I say butterfly, I talk about an insect that flies, and everyone who speaks English knows that. So when I say something like neoniskos, and everyone knows, oh, that's a young man from like 21 to 30, or like 15 to 25 or something. You know, some sort of young man, and that grown man, like almost grown man, but young grown man, old enough to know better type of guy, but still in his youth. That's what a neoniskos is. And why do I know that? Because I don't look at the iskos and go, it's got a diminutive. Just like I don't say, oh look, it's got butter and fly in it. No, I look at the context of when it's used by authors. And every single one of them makes it up to some like 15 to 30-year-old. Every single one of them. Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. 30 probably primary sources that use neoniskos for like 20-year-olds. So that they're like this whole thing of like, oh my God, I can't believe he said butterfly. You guys are stupid. You don't know. You don't understand the whole. You don't understand it. Now look at this. Look at this example right here. I just want to show you the new. This is I brought this up. I brought up the root, which is seta, which is the root of the plant, which is it's a medlar tree, but this is the root of the word. The connecting consonant, right? Here's another example of that. Elikon, and then you have elikonios, right? Well, eos, that eos at the end is the suffix. You see eos all the time. In fact, eos means like son of. It means like the son. It sounds like the word hios. But you have elikon, right? And the dental stop insertion tau. So it's like a buffer consonant, right? Here's another example of that. Oros, and then it says oros tios. You have that same stem, eos, but they throw a tau in there. They throw a consonant in there to connect the word to the suffix. See what I'm saying? Or Gaia and eos becomes Gaia tios. See what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with Satan. They just made that up because they want Satan to be Greek. Because if they're hailing Satan all day, they're like, holy shit, if Satan's just a character from the Hebrew Bible, we're frauds. If we're telling people Satan doesn't exist and Satan's a character from the Hebrew Bible, we're frauds. Seriously. We're telling people that Hebrew doesn't exist, but then we're hailing a character whose name comes from Hebrew. We're frauds. Holy shit, how do we fix this? Oh, I have an idea. We'll just pretend that satanios is the word Satan. Or you could just be honest and go, oh, Hebrew exists. In fact, let's watch this. I'm going to show you something crazy. Greek magical Papyri PDF. Let's see if we can find it. This is it. Okay. Look at this. The holy Greek magical papyri, where all the naked kids are. This is where Jesus got all his ideas from, right? That's what they say. That's what Tiger Shark says. Mr. Tiger Shark, PhD from NASA, who kept finding, he kept pulling up fake sources that he got from ChatGPT. Look at Hebrew. Watch this. Look at this. This is from PGM 5. And it says things to be written inside the circle. Let's talk about a magic circle. And then you got all this Daimon Yao Sabaoth Bafla Yao. This is, by the way, this is all from Jude. This is all Yahwism. You would never find any of this before Christianity. Or before Judaism, I should say. Like Yao Sabaoth is from Hebrew. That's a Hebrew word being brought into the Greek. So the Greek magical papyri is the perennialist magical text. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I like it. But I'm honest about it. I know what it is. I know there's Hebrew influence on here. I don't have to fucking lie about that shit. They do, because they think Hebrew doesn't exist. And look at this. The gods invoked here are a curious lot: solar, subterranean, Hebrew, Egyptian, Mesopotamian. It's Morton Smith writing that. And then it says right here, Sovereign Zeus, Adonai, Yahweh, I am he who calls upon you, great God, in Syrian, Za, La, Ra, Fuhu. And you must not ignore my voice in Hebraho, Ablanatha. He literally tells you to speak in Hebrew. It literally tells you. And you can check the Greek for yourself. The word Hebrew is in the PGM. The word Hebrew is in the PGM. Here it is right here. This is in the PGM. Right? Here we go. Which one is this? PGM 8. PGM 8. It says, I call on you who surround all things. I call in every language, in every dialect. And then it says right here, Iao, which is Yahweh, by the way, in which you have set in order all things. Sabaoth, Arbathiyao, Zagure. These are the angels who first appeared. The first angel cries in bird glyphic, woe to the enemy. In charge of the punishment, Helios hymns you in hieroglyphic, Lalium, and in Hebrew, by his own name, Anak. In Hebrew. I thought Hebrew didn't exist. I thought Hebrew was fake. The PGM doesn't think the Hebrew is fake. The PGM likes Hebrew. Let's go to the TLG, actually. Let's go to the TLG. Let's go to the TLG in 1 second. 1 second. Let's just keep going through this real quick. Here's another one. Which one is this? This is from PGM 8 again. And what does it say? It says, the first angel cries to you in Berglyph, Arai, which is woe to my enemy. That's not Greek. They just translated Arai. That's not Greek. Woe to my enemy. And you have set him in the punishments. Helios hymns in hieroglyphic, Lalam, and in Hebrew by his own name, Anag. And it says a variant spelling of Enoch or Enoch, probably. This is probably a play on the word Enoch. And it's being transliterated into Greek. All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the PGM right now. What does the PGM say? You guys are the TLG. You guys probably think I'm lying, don't you? You guys probably think I'm lying, don't you? Right? Well, look, Neil, you're looking at the English. Neil, I pull up the English because people are watching, and not everyone knows Greek. So I want to show them. These are, by the way, these are standard translations from Morton Smith and Scarborough. So you can suck it. These are good translations. But you know what? Fine. Let's go look at the Greek. Let's look at the Greek right now. Here we go. TLG, Magica, Magic Papyrus, line 3080. What does that word say? Let's see. Let's see if you can read it. Hogarlogos estin Hebraikos. 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 I like that word in Greek, by the way. Hebraikos. That's the word for Hebrew. I thought Hebrew didn't exist. Well, the PGM thinks Hebrew exists. The PGM thinks Hebrew is magical. The PGM likes Hebrew. That's weird, dude. You guys got a lot of explaining to do. You guys got a lot of explaining to do there. Why are you telling your audience that Hebrew doesn't exist when the same text that you're citing all day literally says to say these words in Hebrew? Hogarlogos estin Hebraikos. Which means in the words of Hebrew. And for the words estin Hebrew. Did we click on this? No. Let's do a word search on this. Hesychius thinks Hebrew exists. Hesychius mentions Hebrew a bunch of times. Theodoratus, 4th, 5th AD. Clement of Alexandria mentions Hebrew. 3rd century. How do you search sort date earliest? Clement. So it's just interesting, you know. Hebrew doesn't exist. It's like these Greeks knew Hebrew existed. They're all talking about it. Something to think about. Something to think about, that's all. Gospel of Nicodemus mentions Hebrew. Yeah. I just think I just can't, that blew the whole thing. Well, let's look up the word Satan. It's actually a plant. It's literally the word sataneos. It's not even the word Satan. And look, like I said, you can find an example. For example, the words starch, starboard, starfish, stark, startup, starvation, star, stare. I just gave you starling. I just gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words that start with STAR that have nothing to do with each other. So you have star, that's the root. If I have a bunch of words that mean star. Starch, That's an odorless white substance, carbohydrate. That has nothing to do with star. A star is a fix here. Let me share my screen. Actually, this is perfect. Might as well share it. Look at this. I just looked up. Give me some examples of a word that starts with STAR. That's all I ask. Give me a word that starts with the word STAR. I can find. You can do this with any word you want. Here are words that start with star. Star, a fixed luminous point in the sky, large, remote, independent body like the sun. Starch, odorless white substance that is the main carbohydrate in plants. Now, does this word come from star? Are these the same word? They're only 2 letters apart. Look it literally has the word star in it. It literally has the word star in it. And it just adds 2 extra letters. If you didn't speak English, if you spoke a different language, you might get tripped up by somebody lying to you and saying starch comes from stars. You should eat it because it'll make you powerful and magic because it's got star stuff in it. And you'd go, whoa, it's got the word star in it. He's probably telling the truth. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
And then someone else comes to you and says, no, it's actually starboard, a side of a ship. I guess this one does come from a star, so I should skip this one.
At Enduring Motifs dropped $20 super chat. Well, I think the terminology might be confusing like what we're calling Hebrew. It's really no Hebrew until the Judeans adopted the Aramaic square script from the Persians past that it's better understood as Old Canaanite.
I think the terminology might be confusing what we're calling it. Hebrew is not Hebrew until the Judeans adopted the Aramaic square script from the Persians. No, that's not true. You're confusing script with language. Hebrew is a language. Hebrew is a language that was spoken in Judea by the Jerusalem people and in Israel by the Samaritans, for example. When they adopt different scripts, Phoenician, Aramaic, that doesn't change their language.
$20.
Hebrew already existed before
I
that.
think the terminology might be confusing like what we're calling Hebrew. It's really no Hebrew until the Judeans adopted the Aramaic square script from the Persians past that it's better understood as Old Canaanite.
So I understand what you're doing here. I'm not saying I understand. I'm not saying what you're saying is totally incorrect. But I'm going to push back on one thing. To say it would be like saying Greek doesn't exist because we should call it Mycenaean. Well, why? It's Greek. We call it Greek. We know what Greek is. Well, it was Mycenaean at one point. So why are we calling it Hebrew? Or why are we calling it Greek?
Super chat. All the colonizers love Jews. Never mind their heart and mentality, they can be categorized.
Nice.
S.
Appreciate that. I agree. Back to this one. Is this like glitching out? Can you guys hear it's like playing at weird times.
At Science dropped $5 super chat. All the colonizers
Just played it twice.
Never mind their heart and mentality, they can be categorized.
Weird.
/S.
Thank you for that. All right. Canaanite. Yes. Hebrew comes from Canaanite. That is true. It's just like Greek comes from Mycenaean. But it has nothing to do with when they adopt a script. When they adopt the Phoenician script, that doesn't do anything to their language at all. It stays exactly the same. Same with the Greeks. When the Greeks adopt the Phoenician alphabet, nothing happens to Greek. Greek stays exactly how it is. And they just start using the alphabet to transcribe their language. Same thing with Hebrew. Hebrew has always existed on an evolutionary level. It does start with Canaanite language. And then it evolves into Hebrew. And when you start getting to the Iron Age, 900 BC, 800 BC, 700 BC, and then they start using the alphabet. And then they start writing stuff down. That's Hebrew. That's what you find in the Hebrew Bible as well. That's Hebrew. So it's not like Hebrew didn't exist until they started writing. That's not true. So I think that's something. I think you're confusing script with language. They're 2 different things. Language is the thing you speak. What we're doing right now. Script is the thing that you write down. You can write Sanskrit in cuneiform. Cuneiform is not a language. Cuneiform is a writing system. So there is actually a text of Sanskrit, but it's written in cuneiform. It's so old. It's from like 1500 BC, and it mentions like Mithra and Mitra. It mentions like all these different Vedic gods, but it's written in cuneiform. So that's what I'm trying to say. Script and language are two different things. Yeah.
Enduring Motifs dropped $10 super chat. Yes, you are correct, Hebrew. I was referring to the script, but to call it a language on its own would be a half-truth. It's more so of a dialect of the Canaanite language.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's coming from the Canaanite. It's a Canaanite language. Yeah, absolutely. I knew what you meant. I just wanted to tweak it a little bit. You know what I mean? I knew what you meant. Appreciate that. Thank you. That, by the way, thank you for the super chat. Exactly. I should thank you for that more than anything. But this is all cool. This is good conversation. So yeah, you do get I'm not saying you can't have combinations of words coming together, but sataneos is not that. Sataneos has nothing to do with Satan. There's no Satan in front and Neos in the back. They're not taking the word Satan. The Theophrastus is not attesting Satan. Starboard might have to do with the word star, but that doesn't mean stare does. To stare at someone is to look at them intently. A starfish might have the word star in front for a reason, because it looks like a star. Yeah, okay. But it's still not a star. It's a different word. But you can argue that the compound has to do with star. Fine. But not the word stark. Stark is literally the same exact word with just the K at the end. But I mean, it has nothing to do with star. It just means stark, like stark contrast. Or starling, songbird with dark iridescent tail. Startup. It has the word star in it. It has nothing to do with star. Starvation has the word star in it. A state of suffering or death caused by hunger has nothing to do with star. So the word sataneos has nothing to do with Satan. You just made this up because you are lying to your audience, and you want it's all about preserving the cult. It's all about just being dishonest to preserve the cult. Now that I just showed you that, let's take a look at it again. Now you know how silly this is going to look. And what he's doing here, this is like damage control. His audience, or the Ammonites who are now learning how to use TLG, they're looking for Satan because they want to debunk me. They hear me going live saying Satan is a Hebrew word, guys. It doesn't exist. And they go to the TLG and they go, holy shit, he's right. Holy shit, he's right.
At Enduring Motifs dropped $5 super chat. It ain't nothing, bro. Love your channel. And yes, script is universal.
Love you too, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you. And so, and I knew what you meant. I wasn't trying to like start. I wasn't like being like, you're wrong. I knew what you meant. I was just trying to clarify it. So they type, look at this. This guy's doing some like it's just like apologetics. This is what this is. You know how you see these apologists and they're like, you just know, like, he's bullshitting me. He's bullshitting me right now, right in my face. And this is what he's doing right here. Oh, actually, Satan is actually very old. Goes all the way back to Theophrastus. Look, I found it. Sataneos. And it's like, dude, that's not the same word. You can't just pretend it's the same word when it's not. It's not the same word. It's got sata, and then en, and then eos. Where does he say it? I'm trying to find where he actually full-blown lies. Right here. However, in the abridged corpus, the earliest attestation of Satan, he's talking about the word Satan, is identified as coming from Theophrastus. Huh. So you just straight up lied in this document right here, whoever you are. That's embarrassing. You should be like, how do you sleep at night when you do this to people? Like, do you honestly do this because you're seeking truth, or are you doing this because it's going to further you in the cult? Look, Daddy Amen, I helped you out. I found this word that looks like Satan, and we can tell everyone that it's the same word, and then everyone will think Satan is actually a Greek word, even though it's not. Is that what that is? That's what it seems like. It seems like this is not about seeking truth. This is about furthering the propaganda to further your own self, to have more power inside of this movement or community. That's what this is. They're all playing a game, and they're all trying to further themselves in this movement of this cult. And they're all trying to get up as close to Amen as possible. And with their bullshit, the more bullshit they can pull, the closer they'll get, the more praise they get. And they like that. They like whenever they praise him, he praises them back. Like, I don't know, there's this one dude who interviewed Amen. It was the most pathetic interview I've ever seen in my life. Some journalist guy, some bald journalist guy. And someone sent me some clips. This guy's just gargling his balls the whole time. You're the greatest guy, man. You don't even make any money. You're just such a great guy. And I'm like, oh my God. And then Amen's like blowing him back. And then you're going to see it. They love it. They love blowing each other online. That's what it is. It's like, and you could see it in real time. You're like, this is like weird. But it's like, do these people not have like real friends and family in their lives that they can get the same affection from? Do they need it? They have to do it like this? It's kind of fucked up. Let's see, what time is it? Game of Thrones is on tonight. Got 2 more hours with you guys. 9 o'clock it starts. I gotta watch that shit. House of Dragon. And then you guys watching that, by the way? I'm looking at the live chat right now. There's people fighting in here. We hardly have any archaeological evidence from that period, only inscriptions. Yeah, that's true. House of Dragon. Yeah, I call it the Game of Thrones. You're right. It's the House of Dragon. Actually, it's Song of Ice and Fire. The show is called House of Dragon. You're right. The book, Fire and Blood, is with the House of Dragon. The entire collection of the books, which I have every single one, by the way, I have every single George R.R. Martin book that has to do with Westeros. Which I think is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 books. I think it is. World of Westeros, Fire and Blood. Oh no, it's more than that. Then there's the Dunk and Egg, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. There's a book, and then there's 3 novellas, so that you can make that to 7. But the one book covers all 3 novellas. There's also 3 comic books, so you can go to 9, or you can go to 6. Yeah, then 9. That's 9. Then you have the 5 original books. That's 14. And then World of Ice and Fire. Did I count that one? 15. So it's like, yeah, there's like it's depending on how you count it, it's somewhere between like 7 and 15. But I like the books a lot. I'm not a big fan of how they changed it in the show. For example, like the cutting out Nettles and combining Nettles' character with Rhaena. I'm not a fan of that. It's already starting to cause a ripple effect. Not having the sons of Daemon and Rhaenyra of age, because in the books they're like 11 or 12 and they can ride dragons. In the show, they're like 2-year-old babies. They don't even talk or do anything. Why did they do that? I don't know. There's just so many weird things they're doing they didn't do in the show. Oh, the big one was there's this knight in the book. I forgot his name. There's this knight who takes the little baby Maelor Targaryen, and he has to bring him out of the kingdom and bring him to safety in the Hightower village. And on his way there, they get killed. But that's not even, they took that out of the show completely. It was like such a cool part of the book. I don't know why. It was very like intense. Like you got this knight, he's on a journey with this little kid. They're trying to make it there. And he fails. And it's really fucked up. I remember reading it, my jaw dropped when I read that scene. Like, what just happened? They did what? And then it's like there's like three different tellings going on at the same time. It's like a history book. Imagine if you had a history. Imagine if you're reading Herodotus, and Herodotus was like, heck, because he does this sometimes. Herodotus will be in the middle of sentences. He'll say, "There's three different rumors about what happened that day. Hecataeus of Miletus says this," and he'll say, and then he'll mention someone else and say, this guy, this other source, Anaxagoras, whatever, says this. And he'll give you like three different versions of the same story. And then he'll be like, whatever the truth is, we'll never know. Well, this is how George R.R. Martin writes Fire and Blood. He writes like a history book. And he gives you three different versions of that story. And in one of the versions, the little kids get ripped apart and eaten by the townspeople, like Zagreus. But George R.R. Martin, I love him, dude. He's such a genius. And he knows so much about mythology. He's so impressed. Sometimes he knows more than I do for sure. Like there's so many mythological tropes in his writings. Like Daemon Targaryen is like in the books, he has this he's a dying and rising figure. Like there's a whole version about his death. And the reason why I say it's a dying and rising figure is because they say his body is missing when they went to go look for it, which is the missing body, the missing tomb trope. That's an ancient trope in Roman period. When the body goes missing, it means they became a god. Well, he does this for Daemon Targaryen. Daemon Targaryen, when they go to find his body in the lake after he wins the fight with his nephew, they find his nephew's body, but they're like, Daemon's body was never found, and it's like. And then there's like a hint that he actually lived on. Like he's like a dying and rising figure. So anyways, it's amazing. It's an amazing book. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to seeing the show tonight. So even though they're totally changing it, they're totally changing it. Yeah. Best fake history book ever. It really is, dude. It really, it's so good. It's like reading history, but it's a fantasy. I don't know. It's crazy. So I also wanted to go back to Ashley's channel for something and address something here. So this is from 8 hours ago. By the way, you guys should subscribe to Ashley. She's starting a channel now. So Ashes to Ashes, give it a subscribe. And I'll see you over there. But let's take a look at this video right here.
You understand this possible?
B, Judge. B.
And a fine of up to $1,000. Do you understand there's possible penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand your rights when I explained to everyone, Mr. Show today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to talk to a lawyer about this?
No. Can I consult with my representative first?
My mother.
My mother? No.
Your mother, who is not your lawyer.
No.
I guess I don't care if you talk to your mom, Mr. Show today.
So apparently I think this is Madalena's brother is in court for human trafficking, apparently. I haven't really looked into this, so I'm not going to make any definitive statements on this. I don't really know much about it, but it is kind of fascinating that this is something that's been going on behind the scenes. Yeah, my mom wasn't like this with me when I was at court. That's kind of weird. I went to court when I was like 17 too. I was young, and my mom didn't even show up for my court. I went to jail. I went to prison. I was in prison before I turned 21. I didn't get mommied like this. Just saying, this is a little weird to me.
I just have a question. So engaging versus soliciting? Okay, so that I guess I'm a little confused by that since the wording on.
This is very hard to see. I want to see if I can find the original link so that I can hold on a second. Let me see if I can find the original link. So we can see it in bigger HD. This is really hard to see. One second. I know I can find it here. Here we go. All right, hold on.
We had a bunch of inmates this morning, and one of them wanted to argue with me, so it took a while. But we will try and get through your cases as quickly as we find. You just tell me that, and I will give you some more time, and we will come back later. If you would like to enter a plea here today, you have 3 choices, and those are the pleas of guilty, no contest, and not guilty. A guilty plea is exactly.
So 5 people got arrested for human trafficking sting in Ashland. I guess one of them was Madalena's brother. Walker. And I think Madalena's in the comments of this video somewhere. Yeah. This is my little brother. Public shaming of an individual who is simply eccentric alone, possesses natural human desires, is deplorable. Prostitution isn't human trafficking. This misclassification is misguided. That's Madalena's claim. Okay. All right. Let's hear what it is.
Exactly like it sounds. It is a complete admission of your guilt. If you plead guilty to a charge, you are telling the court that the charge is true.
Yeah. I thought this is all over the internet. I didn't think I was breaking this, but yeah, this is the ambassador of Lady Babylon's brother in court for human trafficking.
And that you did in fact commit the offense alleged in your citation or ticket. If you enter a guilty plea, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to find you guilty here this morning. I'm going to listen to the prosecutor read part.
Damn, this judge has his mind made up. Woo, that is rough.
The police report so that I know something about the facts. I'm going to listen to whatever you want to tell me about your case or about yourself. And then I will probably just go ahead and sentence you today on your guilty plea, and your case will be over. It will be finished. Now, the second plea that you can enter, the plea of no contest, is very similar to a guilty plea in its effect, but there are some differences. And sometimes people struggle to understand what a no contest plea means. The best way to understand it is to think about it in comparison to the guilty plea. A no contest plea does not admit that you're guilty. That's the biggest difference between a guilty plea and a no contest plea. A guilty plea admits your guilt, a no contest plea does not. When you plead no contest, you admit the truth of the facts that are written out in your citation or ticket, but you do not admit that you're guilty. So when you plead no contest,
Drop $5 super chat. Gnostics maybe had knowledge for everyone.
Yeah, there is a lot of knowledge just not meant for everyone. Not everyone can handle it. So that was the whole point of the Gnostics, was that there was deep knowledge, esoteric knowledge that was not for everyone. It was for those with ears to hear. That's what that means. Let's keep going.
What you're telling the court is that you are consenting to being found guilty, you are admitting the facts, and you are not going to contest or fight the ticket. That's why it's called no contest. Now, if you enter that plea, I have to apply the law to the facts written out in your citation, presuming those facts to be true. If the facts in your citation are sufficient, you are going to be found guilty on that no contest plea, just like you would be on a guilty plea. Now, as a practical matter, the facts in those tickets almost always are sufficient. And if they are not sufficient, the prosecutor gets the chance to amend them or correct them to make them sufficient. So if you plead no contest, you are almost certainly going to be found guilty, just like you would be on a guilty plea. And then the court's going to listen to a report, listen to whatever you want to say, and probably go ahead and sentence you today, just like I would on a guilty plea. Your case is going to be over, just like it would be on a guilty plea. The main advantage for you of that no contest plea over the guilty plea is that the no contest plea itself cannot be used against you later in some other civil or criminal case. So if you get sued or you find yourself in some civil litigation, some custody case, the other side could not use a no contest plea.
He's basically telling him, you're probably better off doing that. Let me jump ahead a little bit.
You will have the right to be present at all times during your trial. You will have the right to question and demand for jury trial.
Oh my God.
I caution everyone that we are making a record here today. Everything that
induce, entice, procure another to engage.
in the United States. Mr. Malone, next, Mr. Malone.
Here we go.
Stephen Shilliday on page 11, Judge. It's alleged that on December 5th, 2025, while in Ashland County, Ohio, the defendant violated revised code section 2907.231B, which reads no person shall recklessly induce, entice, procure another to engage or procure another to engage in sexual activity for hire. To it, you arrange via an application and or internet ad, sex for hire with an undercover law enforcement officer in the city of Ashland, Ohio.
He's not charged with soliciting, he's actually charged with engaging in prostitution.
Yeah.
Okay. Get a copy of that citation, Mr. Shilliday?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
You understand the charge?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You're charged with engaging in prostitution. There have been some changes in the law in this area. I believe that is a first-degree misdemeanor. Is that correct? So the maximum penalty on that particular charge, the way they've charged it in this case, is actually 180 days in the county jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Do you understand those possible penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand your rights when I explained to everyone, Mr. Shilliday?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to talk to a lawyer about this?
No,
Wait, so this is him? This is the right case? Is this the same guy? People in the comments, help me out. This is him? Is he adopted or something? Is he an adopted brother, maybe? Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
can I consult with my representative first?
My mother.
My mother? No?
Your mother, who is not your lawyer.
No.
I guess I don't care if you talk to your mom, Mr. Shilliday.
I just have a question. So engaging versus soliciting? Okay, so.
You guys in the comments are nuts. Oh my God, dude.
So that, I guess I'm a little confused by that since the wording on
The
that.
allegation, as I understand it, is that he actually attempted to procure. Is that right? What subsection is it?
B, Judge. B.
B,
So you're arresting that big order, right?
which
Yes.
prescribes that no person shall recklessly induce,
Okay,
entice, or procure another to engage in sexual activity for hire in exchange for the person giving anything of value to the other person.
okay,
That is the charge.
okay, so those,
Now, ma'am, I really, he needs to, is there something wrong with Mr.
no,
Shilliday? Is
there's
he
not,
not intellectually competent?
no.
I was gonna say, and if you did that in New York, they was like, shut the. Those just like, sit down. This isn't your case. Is this your lawyer? Then what are they doing here? New York is rough, dude. Ohio is pretty laid back.
So
you really need to make your own decisions. Now, if you need some time to talk to your mom, I'll reschedule this, we can come back. But she can't run this hearing for you, she's not your lawyer.
I understand that, Your Honor.
Do you understand?
I don't know what the judge. I don't know what the judge told me at my sentencing. He said, "It's white kids like you." Because okay, I was in the court was in the city Buffalo. I got caught in the east side of Buffalo, which is the ghetto, with 100 Oxycontins and an ounce of weed and $1,000 on me. I think I had like $1,000 on me or something. And he goes, "It's white kids like you." And the judge was black. The judge was black. He was from that neighborhood too. So it was horrible judge for me to land in. He goes, "You know, Mr. Sunlack, it's white kids like you who come into my neighborhoods with your money and you buy our drugs, and then our people go and buy guns and kill each other. So it's your fault for all the, you're the reason why there's all this crime and killing." And I was like, I'm 17 years old. I'm like, uh-oh, facing a B felony. Uh-oh. This is in 2007, back before Obama, back when one pill was one felony. Oh my God. I thought they're like, you're facing 25 years. Like it was some crazy, of course I didn't do all that, but like, they were just like trying to scare you into, you know, that's what he said. He told me I was the reason why people get killed in the inner city. My money leads to violence, pretty much. That's what he said to me.
And you understand you can go to jail for up to 6 months if you're found guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to talk to a lawyer about this?
No, Your Honor.
What do you want to do, Mr. Shiller?
I'll take a guilty plea.
Now, you can certainly do that, but I don't have to accept it, okay? And I'm not going to accept it unless I believe that you're doing that voluntarily.
I literally just told them, if you plead guilty, I'm going to accept it. And then he goes, "You can do that, but I don't have to accept it." Like, dude, this judge is weird.
And that you fully understand what's going on. And I'm a little concerned about that after watching this interaction. So I want to ask you a few questions.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that if you plead guilty, you are admitting that you engaged in prostitution.
Yes, Your Honor.
And there will not be a trial. You'll be giving up all the rights that I explained to you earlier. You won't get to confront your accusers, present evidence.
So my understanding from reading Madalena's comment and what this isn't really a human trafficking sting. This is just one guy getting caught with a prostitute. So far, maybe there's more time left, but let's keep going.
Testify. State won't have to prove you guilty. I'm going to find you guilty today. I could even just go right ahead and sentence you today, right here, right now, and you face up to 6 months in jail.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
understand all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And has anyone made any promises or threats to you that are compelling you to do this?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me about the penalties, your rights, or the police academy?
No, Your Honor. I was wondering if I could say a couple things before.
You're going to have a chance to say anything that you want, Mr. Chauvenet. I don't know anything about you. I really don't know anything about this case except what I read in the media, just like everybody else. So, you know, I'm probably not going to sentence you today. I'm probably going to set a sentencing hearing at a later date so that I can get some more information about this, including information about you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Probably want to see your prior record if you have any, and want to give you the chance.
But then there's this other article right here, which is I'm confused at this case. This is really confusing. Look at this one. It's from 19 News from 2025 last year. 6 arrested in Ashland human trafficking sting. So the language they're using is this is way more. Here's the suspects, you know, Gamble, this guy, right? Here's their faces. As if they're all in on it together. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like this isn't just one guy getting caught with a prostitute. This is some sort of series of arrests that are connected. That's what it looks like. So I'm just extremely confused about this right now. But I guess we'll keep going.
To provide any character information you might want to provide And also, it's going to be important to me to hear how you feel about this and what you think about it,
Yes.
as well as any input from any victim that there might be. Now, I am going to accept the guilty plea and finding it was entered knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. Mr. Long, you have a report on this?
I do. This is Detective Butte, Your Honor. On December 5th of this year, the Human Trafficking Task Force conducted a prostitution operation here in Ashland at a local motel, which included the officers creating online ads offering sexual services in exchange for money. Mr. Shilladay responded to one of those and agreed to be an undercover officer at the hotel for sex acts, specifically. He explained that he had come to meet a female for the purpose of engaging in oral sex and intended to pay $80 for those services. Said that he had hired numerous prostitutes in the past. Specifically, he's paid for sexual activity 55 times. Did sign a consent form for officers to search his phone.
Okay. So at least in this case, there was no actual prostitute involved. This was undercover officers conducting the sting.
That's right.
All right. I'm going to enter a finding of guilt. I think that's sufficient for my purposes in terms of the facts, Mr. Shilladay. But I do want to do a pre-sentence investigation report before I impose sentence in this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set sentencing at approximately 30 days, Mrs. Schwartz.
Yes. Your Honor, I'm going to set this for January 12th at 10:15.
January 12 at 10:15, we're going to have a sentencing hearing. Mr. Krausman's going to write that down for you. I'm going to order that a full pre-sentence investigation be completed in this case by probation. Now, it's my hope that you'll cooperate with that, Mr. Shilladay.
Your Honor, I plan to fully cooperate with law enforcement and the court.
Well, it certainly sounds like you have so far.
Yes.
And, you know, I don't have any reason to believe that you're not going to show up or that you're a flight risk. You're here today. I'm not going to require a bond. But what I need you to do is stop over at the probation department. All right? Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be on probation, but that's where Mr. Peasley works, and Mr. Peasley is going to do the pre-sentence investigation for me. So he's going to sit down with you today. He's going to do some background on you. He's going to run your criminal history, and then we are going to come back in about 30 days after Mr. Peasley gets me the police reports and all the other information I need. We're going to come back for sentencing on January 12th.
So, Pink, this is the brother of the high priestess of the Ammonites. And I'm gonna be, look, if I wanted to be like Ammon, I would just go, you see how they're all human traffickers. I actually want to give you a nuanced position on this. It does kind of seem like this guy just got caught with a prostitute. That's what it seems like. That's all. From what I'm seeing right now, I could be wrong, but there could be more information here.
Are these Ammon's friends on trial?
Yeah, like I just said, it's the brother of one of them, of Madalena. But here's another super chat. But I almost agree with what she's saying here. I don't think he's human. I don't think he's trafficking this prostitute.
Super chat.
I don't know.
Cults prey on the uninitiated.
Yes, they do. They do. They prey on the unknowing too. So, like I said, this doesn't sound like. Why are they running ads for sex? Isn't that entrapment? Just curious. Ohio Revised Code defines human trafficking as knowingly recruiting, luring, enticing, harboring. Okay, so this is Ohio law. This is really what this is. Key elements include exploiting vulnerabilities, covering a broad range of exploitative labor with special protections, severe penalties. I don't know. They didn't give us any details. Like I don't really know what with this sting. Why was there more than one person arrested at the same time? That made it seem like there was some intricate like group of people doing this all together. That's what it made it seem like. But why he's at court by himself? So it's like, I don't know. Someone, Tammy Blair, right? This is our Ashton, Ohio court at its finest. I believe tax dollars can go into something more concerning than sex with a minor. And that would be sex with a minor, not okay, I was going to say, what? Then don't tell me he didn't. Okay. Like, who cares about adults paying for other adults? This is ridiculous. Well, a lot of states agree with you. Nevada does. I see your point. I'll have to read up on this case. Tell me you don't know what human trafficking is or how prostitution works while defending someone who engage in it. Look up the word deplorable. This is not public shaming, it's public record. This is not harmless. Please make sure you get a little education on the issue and him some counseling. I was part of the human trafficking task force. Trust me, you have no clue what is reality here. Huh. This guy was part of the task force. Madeline responds, task force my butthole, dude. Considering I know what he's charged for and you don't, as his family. You can shut the hell up, buddy. You're likely guilty for doing the same things behind closed doors. Ooh, got him. Got him. Both parties agreeing upon a service, and the price of that service is the same as kidnapping someone, drugging them, forcing them to provide services so they can pocket the money, while the person is scared for their life. Yeah, no, you are wrong, my guy. Prostitution can be a form of human trafficking, but they aren't always the same. So, okay, so I'm just going to be honest with you. Based on what I've seen here, this guy got completely railroaded in this case by the judge. If this is what he got, if this is what they call it in Ohio, to just buy a blowjob for $80, they call it, you get human trafficking on your record for a blowjob. That sucks. I literally, and the reason why I'm so quick to defend this is not that I'm just some like lawless, like I believe in the law. I'm not some like lawless, do whatever you want, man. I'm just saying, like, I remember being in prison for nonviolent possession of drugs. And every day I would wake up and I would like, that guy over there murdered somebody. That guy over there kidnapped somebody. That guy over there robbed the bank. That guy over there did some crazy shit. That guy over there. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I didn't do anything in comparison to the people I'm living with on a day-to-day basis. And it legitimately would drive me crazy every day. Just like, why am I here? Why am I deemed undesirable to society because I had something on me that I was in my possession that changes the way you feel? And to this day, I still kind of feel that way about possession charges. I'm not saying like someone who sells like heroin or what's the stuff that kills you? Fentanyl. Like that shit's fucked up. Like you should go to prison for that. So I understand this. I get it. It's the law. I broke the law. It is what it is. But I remember being so black-pilled by it. I remember feeling so much hatred for the legal system, for the judge, for the DA, I just remember feeling that. So I understand, like, this is gonna follow him for the rest of his life. It just sucks, it does suck. I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you this is like a good thing, sucks. But I could be wrong. There could be more to this case. We just never they just didn't tell us any details. That was a weird video. Let's see. What else can we talk about?
You think so? I think it's people. You think it's me? And the voice that comes out will be the voice straight from Jesus's excruciating, pain-filled soul in the depths of hell where they keep all the people who abuse children.
So does that mean that's where you're going to go?
And he said, that's the one. Good luck. People, there's a voice coming. There's a voice coming. And you and I are privileged and honored to be able to bring this to the world.
That's just pure delusion right there. You're not bringing anything to the world. You're just making shit up. And no one's listening. Your numbers have been declining. I remember after this guy was on Danny Jones for the first time, his live streams was going up to 1,500 people watching. He had 1,500 live viewers every single night. Some of those nights I was with him. Some of those nights would be me and him. He would go on for an hour and a half. I would jump on for 20 minutes. I thought we had something, dude. I thought we were going to start a movement of like Renaissance fucking, we're going to fucking bring the sources. And he has to stick to his whole fucking bullshit about the burning purple with prepubescent children and Jesus. And like, he can't just be normal. Like, and people just drop off one by one. Now he's barely getting a few hundred people. I'm not saying I'm blowing up either, but still, it's like the world's not listening to your message, dude. It's not. It's the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest people who are attracted to what you're saying, who look at this and go, yeah, that makes sense. The guy got his purple and white tattooed on his face. He must be connected to the muse. Like, no, people are not falling for it. They're leaving one by one, dropping off very quickly. And now pretty soon there's just going to be like a few people watching. It'll just be Snappy and Madalena and the other cultist.
At Pink Beam 2374 dropped $10 super chat. I'm pretty high, but I just started reading a book on plasma, and the author says they refer to plasma in the Pistis Sophia Nihil. The author is saying that the kingdom of heaven is fucking plasma nihil.
Really? What book is that? Because I got the Pistis Sophia here. Somewhere. Where did I put it? Where did I put that Pistis Sophia? There it is. What part are you talking about? Pistis Sophia. Pistis Sophia. Where is it? Wait, it's not in this book? Maybe it's in a different book I have. Zerman of Sostrianos. Where's this? This is Sophia. I think it's on page 425. It says like the nature of the immortals was completed out of the infinite one. Then a likeness called Sophia flowed out of Pistis with the wish that something should come into being like the light that first existed. Maybe this is what they're talking about. dropped 2 super chats? Oh, you dropped another super chat. Oh shit! Thank you. I am high on legal weed. Immediately, her wish was a heavenly likeness.
At Pink Beam 2374 dropped $10 super chat. I am high on legal weed. The part where Mary asks about the 24 ones and where are they or something, and they shine brighter than 10,000 suns or something. I'll show you on X.
I can't wait to look at that. Maybe you can send it. If you send it to me now, I'll share it out. I'll look out for it. But I can read a little bit ahead of this. It says, it came between the mortals and those who came into being after them, that what is above. It was a veil separating people from things above. First of all, let me just get rid of this. And it says, Sabaoth worships Pistis. When Sabaoth received the place of rest because of his repentance, Pistis gave him her daughter Zoe with great authority, so that she might inform him about everything that exists in the 8th heaven. And since he had authority, he first created a dwelling place for himself. It is a huge, magnificent, 7 times as great as those that exist in the 7 heavens. Talks about 8 shapes, 4 corners, 62 forms, 7 angels, 8 having authority, 72 total, 72 chariots. What is going on here? Afterwards, Sabaoth creates an assembly with Jesus and the Virgin. Afterwards, he created an angelic assembly, thousands, myriads, without number, belonging to it. It was like the assembly in the 8th heaven, and a firstborn called Israel, that is, the one who sees God, and also another called Jesus Christ, who is like the Savior, above in the 8th heaven, who sits in his right upon an excellent throne. But at his left, the Virgin of the Holy Spirit sits upon a throne praising him, and the 7 virgins stand before her, with 30 lyres and harps, and trumpets in their hands, glorifying him. And all of the armies and angels glorify him and praise him, but he sits on a throne concealed by a great cloud light. And there was no one with him in the cloud except Sophia, the daughter of Pistis, teaching him about all those that exist in the 8th heaven, so that likeness of those who might be created, in order that his kingdom might continue until the consummation of the heavens of chaos and their powers. Oh, wow, this is pretty trippy over here. Hold on, let's see if she sent me anything. Not yet. Wait, let me read what you said again. Mary asked about 24 ones and where they are or something. Is this the Gospel of Mary you're talking about? Let me look this up. $4.97. No, that's not it either. Darkness ejaculates mind into the womb of nature. And when the darkness saw the womb, he became unchaste. And when he had aroused the water, he rubbed the womb. I wonder if the word rubbed is Christ. His mind dissolved down to the depths of nature. It mingled with the power of the bitterness of darkness, and the womb's eye ruptured at the wickedness in order that she might not again bring forth the mind. For it was a seed of nature from dark root. And when nature had taken to herself the mind by means of dark power, every likeness took shape in her. And when the darkness had acquired the likeness of the mind, it resembled the spirit. For nature rose up to expel it. She was powerless against it. She said, since she did not have a form from the darkness, for she brought it forth in the cloud, and the cloud shone. A mind appeared in it like frightful, harmful fire. The mind collided against the unconceived spirit, since it possessed a likeness from him, in order that nature might become empty of chaotic fire. And immediately nature divided into 4 parts. They became clouds that varied in their appearance. They were called hymen, afterbirth, power, and water. This is crazy. The fuck? The spirit of the light who has come in them. And by the will of the majesty, the spirit gazed up at the infinite light, that his light may be pitied and the likeness may be brought up from Hades. I can see why these texts were like preserved. I can see why someone would think that this is like, no, this is the real deal. No. Matthew, Mark, that's kid shit. Check this out. This is the good shit right here. I can see why. You know, there's definitely something about it. Christ was Batman. Yes, he was. Christ was indeed Batman. All right, let's keep playing this clip.
It's my greatest honor to serve the muse.
You don't serve the muse. If you serve the muse, you wouldn't be making up stories about Satan being from Saturn. You wouldn't be making up stories about how the burning purple was prepared with Medea's vaginal excreta. You wouldn't be making up that the word Christ always means drugs no matter what. You just wouldn't be lying if you were serving the muse. Serving the muse doesn't mean I serve my own fucking thoughts, whatever I want to be true. That's not what that means. It means you tell the truth. It's honest. It's about honesty. It's about being honest about the sources, about reality. The muse is inspires you to do things in the world. That's what the concept means. It's the arts. It doesn't say, "Oh, I want this to be the truth. I want this to be the truth. So I'm going to go make it the truth. I'm going to go lie and make it up so everyone thinks it is." That's not what that means. Let's show everybody the muses. Let's show everybody the muses. I'm a big fan of Theoi. Theoi website, it's well done. I don't know who put this together, but they have a great website. And you can see the muses. You have Calliope, Cleo. I would say Cleo's my muse because I'm a big history guy. Urania, astronomy. Thalia, comedy. Melpomene, tragedy. Polymnia, religious hymns. Erato, erotic poetry. Euterpe, lyric poetry. Terpsichore, choral song and dance. These different muses give out different inspirations to different people. And that inspiration is always true. There's never deceitful inspiration, because that would not be from the muses. That would be from something else. It would be from your own ego or your own personal bullshit, your own personal psychological damaged bullshit. That's not the muse. The muse doesn't tell you to go and like support theories that don't exist. Doesn't tell you to go and tell people that Sataneos is actually Satan. That Theophrastus was the first person to mention Satan before the Bible. That's not the muse, dude. That's yourself. That's your own personal bullshit. That's your own personal gain. And you know what's funny about people talking about me making money? Is they'll say, oh, you shouldn't make money because it's going to, the money is going to make you want to do whatever makes the most money, and you're not going to be true. That's funny, because I'm the only one I've always been pushing what I believe to be true on my channel since day one. Whether it's gotten me in trouble or whether it's progressed me, that's all consequence of what comes after. I've gotten on this channel. I did it for fun in the beginning. I used to work at a tire factory at Sumitomo Rubber, building tires in a factory. I would work 12-hour shifts, sometimes 16-hour shifts, and I would go home and I would make videos, and I would interview scholars for fun. And then it took off. People liked it. People liked my hobby. And I just kept doing my hobby. Exactly how I did it before is how I do it now. So if people like what you do and it happens to make you wealth, it is what it is. Now, what's so ironic, the reason why I'm bringing that up is that the irony is here is people who don't even make money will still be dishonest because it gets them something. It gets them furthered in the cult. It gets them praise in the Discord. It gets them pat on the back. They like that shit. They like that cred, that street cred they got because they found a source. LH, I found a source. LH admitting in a live stream, I was prepping for the Neil debate, and I couldn't find any sources about extracting drugs from kids. I couldn't find anything. What's so funny about that? He's literally admitting that I'm right. Literally admitting that I'm right. He says this. Oh, I should pull it up, dude. It's so good. No, I don't want to pull. I can't look at the guy's face. It makes you want to puke. So he goes, I couldn't find I was prepping for my debate with Neil, which never turned out to be a debate. It turned out to be a fucking joke. I couldn't find any sources. Not one. I couldn't find anything. Nothing. I asked the Discord. We couldn't find anything. So then I just Googled it, and then something came up. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you admit that? You just admitted that you didn't have a source. And then the source that he brings up doesn't even say prepubescent children.
He's dropped $2 super chat. Do you think the prophets are modeled off the muses?
Yeah, it is. It's the oracular prophets. Prophecy is the genre of the oracular. It means the prophet is getting inspired by the divine to say something to the world. That's what that is. It's absolutely connected to the muses.
Super chat. No money sounds Christian.
It is. It is. And there's all these mega churches because they're all full of shit. But early Christianity, oh my God, you let's look at Acts. Watch this. The book of Acts was like very clear. You are not allowed to have money. Like you shouldn't have any wealth. And if you do, sell all of your property and give all your money to the poor and to the feet of the apostles. Watch this. What the shit they push in these like online Discord servers isn't pagan. It's Christian morality. They act like Christians would like, oh my God, reject wealth. That's not how pagans talked. Maybe the cynics might have acted like that, but not. Eleusinian Mysteries cost money to get in, dude. You know how much money you needed to get initiated into the Eleusinian Mysteries? There's a joke about that in one of the comedians. I forgot who it was. It's one of the comic poets jokes about the amount of money, the insane amount of money someone needed to get initiated in Eleusis. It's not what these people think. People fantasize their own weird shit onto the past, and it's not true. But they have Christian brains, so they think of everything Christian wise. Oh, wealth is so evil. Oh, that's what Jesus would say. That's you guys are just Christian. You guys are just Gnostic Christians at this point. All the believers were one heart and one mind. No one claimed that any of their possessions was their own, and they shared everything they had. With great power, the apostles continued to testify to the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. And God's grace was so powerfully at work in all of them that there were no needy persons among them. From time to time, those who owned land or houses sold them, and they brought the money from the sales and put it at the apostles' feet, because money's so evil, and it was distributed to anyone who had need. That's fucking Christianity, dude. You guys are Christians. Pagans would just be like, fuck that. We're going to throw a feast. You know what I mean? So yeah, the point that I was making was they say all this crap about Neil is monetized, and that's going to cause him to lie. No, you're the ones lying. You're the ones bullshitting, and you make money too. So don't let's not get it twisted. You make more money than I do probably now, Amen. You got people giving you $1,000 checks and shit. I heard.
Thank you for coming tonight. I look forward to seeing you. Chewy, did you have any comments? People, did you like Chewy's work? Where is it? Jesus is boiling in semen. I hear the chant down tyranny. You right? You're right. Right, Bacchanal. We've got we have to have a Bacchanal. Did you like Chewy's work? Where is it? Jesus is boiling in semen. I hear the
Look at Snappy. You can chant the Greek. Say the name Azazel. This is how. Do you know what Azazel even is? It's a Hebrew word. It means scapegoat in Hebrew. Watch this. Oh my God, we got to go to the Bible now. Let's do it. Let's go to Cross Bible. You're going to love this. These people are just Gnostic Christians at this point. That's all it is. It's all fraudulent. Say Azazel. It's fucking, dude. Azazel is is Hebrew. It's not Greek. He literally says, you can chant the name in Greek. Say Azazel. I did it in a workshop. Gave me shivers. Wow. You called on the name of the scapegoat? Is that what you did? The name of the Hebrew scapegoat? That's not Greek. Watch this. All right. Greek Septuagint. Let's pull that one up. Oh, that's the wrong one. Septuagint, 1935. Let's get the Hebrew on there as well. All right. So, say Azazel. Oh my God. These people are jokes, man. This is so low tier. Look at this. Aaron shall bring them the bull. Where is it? Right here. The goat will be chosen by Lot as the what? As let me see if I can find it. Right here. Lo means two. Ayin, Zion, Alpha, Zion, Lamed. A-Z-A-Z-L. Oh, there's Azazel right there. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that Azazel is in the Hebrew? But what about the Greek? What does the Greek do? Oh, it doesn't even have that. What does the Greek do? You got Kaiton, Kimaron, Ephon, Epelfen, Kleros. So you have Is this what they use? This is what they use for scapegoat right here. Apple Pompayo. No, that means to send away. Zonta. The living one. Oh, so this word means young goat? I didn't know that. Kimaron? Kimaron means young goat. So they literally just change. It literally just translates it as young goat. So they choose a young goat. So the Greek side says young goat, right? But what does the Hebrew do? It says Azazel right here. It literally means scapegoat. Now, some versions, if you go to certain versions of this, it'll say, look at this. But the goat, which on the lot fell for Azazel, shall be set alive before the Lord, because this is translating directly from the Hebrew, not the Greek. And I'm just trying to show you Azazel is Hebrew. It means scapegoat. So let's hear this right here again. Azazel. Azazel. But Hebrew doesn't exist. Hebrew is fake. And you literally got these people in the chat going, call upon Azazel. Hail Satan. Hail Azazel. All of your gods are all Hebrew. Do you understand how you guys are? The muse is laughing at you. The muse is like playing with you guys like little toys, like a joke. You guys are all like little babies. And like your whole existence is a joke. You're saying hail Satan, hail Azazel, and the whole time this is all Hebrew. These are all Hebrew deities, Hebrew figures, Hebrew names, and you're being laughed at. Whatever is inspiring you is making a joke out of you. You're literally a satire at this point. You guys are literally pushing Hebrew is fake, hail Satan, hail Azazel, two Hebrew figures. I mean, it's satire. It's literally satire. Say the name Azazel. I remember one time seeing Snappy say, Snappy said one time, 666 is not about Nero. Yeah, it is. And the reason why they don't want it to be about Nero is because if they have 666 in their names, look, you have this person right here, 6 is upside down. Well, then that's weird. If Nero, let's go to Revelation where it mentions Nero. Revelation 6:6 verse. Watch this. Revelation 13. This is the only time 666 ever comes up in anything related to Christianity or the devil or the beast. And it's extremely clear. It's extremely clear what they mean by this. There's nothing ambiguous. There's no mystery here. They tell you, the author of Revelation tells you what he's trying to say. He literally tells you what he's trying to say. The hell's going on, dude? I'm going to show you one more version, actually. Let's pull out the Latin, too. Let's pull out the Latin. Watch this. $13.18. What does it say? Chi ho arithmos, arithmic, right? Arithmos, like arithmetic. And the arithmetic and the number and the math is chi means and, ho means the, arithmos means and the math is atu is hex 666, right? What's going on with this version? What's going on with this version right here? Why did you leave out 18 in this? Why is verse 18 gone? Anyways, I just wanted before I guess the Revelation's fucking weird in this. I guess it's is it 14:1? Yeah, dude. Why is your Steven, your website, man? You screwed me over. Your verse 18 is gone. There it goes. Okay. I had to go all the way to Tyndale Bible to get it. The Greek tells you the 666. And so it's translated as, for the number of man is 600,36, which means 666. Wait, let me see if I can do a different version. What is up with your, why is verse 18 gone? Okay, here we go. English. This calls for wisdom. Let one who has insight calculate the numbers of the beast, for it is a man's number, and his number is 666. The number of the Theriu, the beast, right? The number of the Theriu, right? That's where you get the word Theriac from, too. Theriu. The number of the beast is 666. Okay, so why does it say that? Well, it says, for it is a man's number. And look at this. This is the commentary, and you can see all the different commentary on here. But look at the Latin does. Numerus enim hominis est, et numerus eius sequenti seganti 6. Which is, wouldn't that be 666 as well? Yeah, that's interesting. This Latin version actually has 666. I thought the Latin did 616. That's what I thought. But I guess this version, this Sixto Clemente Vulgate, is 666. The point is, the point that I'm trying to make here is, there's only one person in this time period. Right here. Look at this. A few manuscripts, P115, along with manuscript known to Irenaeus, and 2 minuscule manuscripts read 616 here. Well, wait a minute. That changes everything. Why? Several other witnesses have other variations. Irenaeus' mention of manuscripts that we have 616 is balanced by his rejection of such witnesses in this case. As intriguing as the reading 616, since the conversion of Nero, Caesar's name in Latin by way of gematria would come out to 616. It must remain suspect because such a reading seems motivated and that it conforms more neatly to Nero's gematria. Well, that's weird because 666 exactly equals Nero's name in Hebrew. Not only that, the way that it describes the figure as the beast, it's a retelling of Daniel's beast, and Daniel's beast was about Antiochus IV, who set up an abomination in the temple. And there was he kind of sacks the temple. Nero does the exact same thing in the late first century. He sends in Gessius Florus. He robs the temple of their money, and he starts the Judean War. He's the beast. It's extremely clear who the beast is here. He's the second beast too. And it tells us about the first beast right before that. It says, the first beast was given the mouth speaking proud words and blasphemy, and he was permitted to exercise authority for 42 months. And what's interesting about that is if you look up Caligula, who ruled a few decades before, like 2 decades before Nero, from the same Julio-Claudian line. Well, guess how much he was in power? Guess how long he was in power for? He was in power from 37 AD to 41 AD. Right around 42. So it's like 46 months. So he's the first beast. And it's got to be 42 months instead of 46 months because it has to fit the 1.5 weeks. It has to fit 1.5 years. So he's the first beast, and we also know from reading Nero, or from reading Philo. We read Philo. Philo tells you Caligula was a fucking beast. He comes here and he's making everyone kiss his feet and worship him as a god, and we can't handle it. He's killing us all. He's the beast. Nero's the second beast. Anyone who thinks the otherwise is just not being honest about the data.
At Cross Bible Official dropped $1.99 super chat. Aligning Rev 13 is hard. 12.18 is sometimes 13.1.
I know. I saw that. I actually the Catholic Bibles had that too. They have the very next verse starts off with 666 thing. So I just had to find the right version. I was getting all pissed about it. But yeah, it's like the fact that they want to pretend 666 means something else, like it means some other pagan thing that we want it to mean, because they don't want to admit that everything they're worshiping is all Christian bullshit. 666 is the Nero? What? You want to worship Nero? Oh, the Satan is just our Hebrew name? Oh, Azazel is just the Hebrew name for a scapegoat? That sucks. That's nothing. There's nothing important there. You are now the scum on the foot of a churchgoer who looks at you as like, they look at you as like the side quest character. Like you're below them. You literally give them authority. You give them power. A Christian church-going, a devout church-going Christian gets their power from people like Amen and Snappy. They see these Satan worshipers just completely out of their minds, doing whatever they want, lying all the time, hanging out with fucking people who abuse children, and they know that they're on the right path. That's what they think. I'm not saying they are. But you give them that. When they hear you saying "Hail Satan," they're like, "Oh my God, my Bible's correct. People are going to be, the Antichrist is coming." It makes them feel like the main character again. I don't blame them either. You literally hand it to them on a platter. You hand them success on a platter every single time. It's like you play into their game. You're literally playing their game. You're playing cops and robbers, and you're the robbers. And they're the cops, and they win every single time. That's what you're doing by being a Satanist. It's silly. The silliest thing you could do. It's not pagan. I know real pagans. I was in Athens. I was in Epidaurus. I was in Delphi. I was in Arcadia, Olympia. I went to all those places, and I met a lot of different pagans there. And they're not Satan worship. They're not saying "Hail Satan." They don't have 666 tattoos. They're not saying eight. They're not doing chanting Azazel and anything. That's not a real Greek word. Sorry, that's not what they're doing. They look at that as like silly, childish. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So thirsty.
Oh, God.
This guy said, look at someone said my tongue is purple. My tongue is purple. Weird. Why would you want? I thought the purple came from little children. I thought the purple came from little children. Let's see this. Watch this. There was an introduction that he used to have where the rapper guy, I forgot his name, he had a song that was like, "Hello, girl. Do you like balloons?" And I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck? These people are just openly peds? I think this might be one of the videos.
Oh, God. Hit it, Chewy.
Is that? Sophia the Snake, stay up late. Do you like balloons? And it has a little girl in the photo. Look at this. That's that's an older look. That's a young teenage girl right there.
At Marie CPT Picard dropped $5 Canadian super chat. These guys remind me of the goth kids from South Park. Theater kids.
Yeah, exactly what it is. It's like, oh, yeah. Just flicking their hair. Yeah. We're just so like goth. Yeah.
Oh, God. What is Jesus doing?
Look at this. Look how weird this shit is, dude. Listen to the lyrics of this song. Look at them in the chat, dude. Weird. Who's the type of person that likes balloons? Not adults. It's not a question you ask an adult. The gate opens. The gate is open. Violet silk, Satan venom, sweet taste. He's drinking the purple that he just extracted from a child. That's what he's. I mean, that's look. This is what Amen tells us. This is where the purple comes from. I'm not making this up. This is what the sources say. It comes from a child. And then he's just like, they're showing good, very attractive looking young people drinking it and having orgies. And then you wonder why you get child abusers coming to become like high level ranks in your cult. Have a drop or two. Handing out red balloons. Handing out red balloons. That's not creepy, right? That's not what a creepy person would do. A drop or two. At least you have a drop or two. Listen to this. Do you like balloons? By the way, saying "do you stay up late?" That's another thing you say to an adult. You don't ask an adult, "Do you stay up late?" Because adults can do whatever they want. A kid would go, "Are you allowed to stay up late? Does your parents let you stay up late?" You know, think about this stuff. Like, think about, does that look like a 13-year-old girl? Seriously. Why is there a 13-year-old girl sexually staring at me on this video right now? Why do hundreds of people want to watch this? And take it serious and like what? Look, I mean, I don't even want to rewind it. Like, this is crazy. Do you like? You see how little she was? That's a little girl, dude. It's a little girl looking sexualized with a guy saying, "Do you like balloons?" And she's got serpents all around her. And they're the ones saying Jesus is the bad guy. The snake, stay up late.
Score Danny B's dropped $2 super chat. Imon wishes he was an Eptwin Andronochrome drinker.
Oh my God, you know it. You know it. You know he would have been if the Epstein age was right now. I guarantee you Almond would be getting invited there by him on the low. Probably be funded on the low too.
Ultra of Saturn.
Look how little she is, dude. It looks like a 9-year-old or something. This is creepy, dude.
Oh, welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is the Gospel of Ammon, and we are on the devil's wings. Oh, God, people. I'm bringing it here. I'm just going to bring it to you quick tonight. People, sit down. Everybody throw the food. Do what you want. Get rid of the drinks. Sit the hell down. Tap in. If you got to stand up because your prostate, stand up. Tap.
Yeah, that's creepy. And then he's got Danny Jones in the background, and now he hates Danny Jones.
Music has been playing, and I haven't paid you a dime for it. You just gave it because you're being good. And I know you got a site where you can, people can listen to it, and you can generate your own income off of it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you gave it to me. Oh God, that's gorgeous.
Whispering to me from afar. She shoots from afar. She calls from afar. I was like, oh, and I didn't know. There's no way in the world I could have set this up. It was revealed to me.
Yeah.
She revealed herself to me because I don't have hate in my heart.
Yeah.
And I don't go and do this to try and grift people.
This sounds like people at a church, man. They all sound the same. Do you see it? Like, oh my God, this is so. They all sound the same, dude. They all use the same phraseology. Ears to hear. I opened up my heart to her. That she came and she inspired me. And they all had the same way of talking.
And then, like you said, I just put out the record because I want people to have the songs, because they told me I couldn't.
Yeah.
And because I will stand up against the racket. So
yeah. You hear that spirit, people? That's the spirit. That's the spirit that we need.
Do you know how many times I've heard my pastor say, that's the spirit? Hallelujah. Amen.
Oh, God. Need to drive us forward. That freedom. Teddy is free. Do you hear the freedom in his?
Teddy's been saved by God. Teddy's got the chrism of the Lord on his forehead. Hallelujah.
His voice, he walks his walk, he walks the way, and he receives the gift of that knowledge of self.
Salvation.
He integrates it, and he walks. He's doing that walk. And
that sounded like a fucking pastor, dude.
It's inspiring.
Researching the syllables, Eamon. Researching the syllables.
Next week, we're going to have a testimony from Sandra. She's been in the church for 3 months now. Everyone cheer. Yeah. Oops, wrong one. I don't know. I guess I lost my cheering one. Next week, we're going to have a testimony from Barbara. Barbara just got here last week, actually. She was a former Satanist, and now she loves the Lord, and now she's being baptized on Friday. Everyone cheer. That's what they sound like.
Will set me free. You've done that. You've given me the gift too. You didn't lie. You said this is searching the syllables set me free. You've done that. You've given me the gift too. You didn't lie. You said this is what this
you
is.
Didn't lie. Let me hear that one again.
Will set me free. You've done that. You've given me the gift too. You didn't lie. You said this is what these words mean.
Oh,
and then you helped me pronounce them. And because I study etymology, I realized these are the syllables, and then I was able to make all these bridges, and then it starts to make sense because they've hidden this.
It all starts to make sense once you read between the lines and you look at that source, you put it next to this source. You find one source from 100 AD, you find another source from 700 BC, you put it up to this source from 350 AD, and then you go to this source over here from this city that's in 400 AD, and you put it up to this source, and that one has purple in it. This one has a little boy in it. That one mentions a Sindone. This one mentions a Neoniskos. This one mentions prepubescence. This one mentions cum, and you put them all together like a bowl of soup, and then you can get all the ingredients we want, and then we take those ingredients and then we apply it to Mark 14, and then we see it all. And then we have salvation from the muse. And then Amen sets us free because we have faith in Amen Hillman.
In plain sight. When you did when they sent what they tried to get you and Chewy killed or whatever, they sent the police to get you, whatever messed up there. And you had the police there.
By the way, he blamed that on me too. He thought I did that. Didn't do it, but whatever. I'll take credit for it.
There and you go and you have my song play and it goes, the best way to break a spell, I'm rapping this, is to know you're in one. And I go, he's down the rabbit hole, the queen of hearts, and they've got their uniforms on, and I'm saying the things right there. And I was like, this is crazy. And the people they're trying to mess with you and Chewy? What's wrong with these people?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we were just doing.
I was thinking, it's probably one of the people in his own cult that did that shit. I bet she was someone from his own cult that did that shit. I don't think anyone. I was trying to think about it. Who would call the cops on Amen Hill? First of all, you need to know where he lives. You need to know what town he's in. You would need to know where he you would need someone close to him did it. So I think it's someone from the cult that did it. So
we were just looking at some death threats the other
my
day.
goodness. I was like, do these people know?
Why is it? Let me ask you.
You think only you get death threats, dude? You think only you get death threats? Let me show you one of my death threats right now that I just one of them that I have saved. So one person recently, literally, I'm not kidding. Somebody sent a picture of my house. Someone sent a picture of my house on Twitter in my replies. There's just a picture of my house in my replies. Now, I didn't make a big deal out of it. Because if I make a big deal out of it, then everyone can see my house. So I just quietly didn't say anything. And I reported it to Twitter, and they didn't do anything about it. They're like, no. I'm like, and I literally wrote in the email, that's a picture of my house. You can see it right here. This is a photo of my house. And they're like, we reviewed it. We can't do anything about it. So, and then I have this one right here that I was just showing somebody too. I talk about Judaism way too much, I guess, because look what I got. This is actually to Derek, not to me. Somebody emailed Derek and said, "Can you talk to Gnostic Informant? He sits and makes videos with Tobias Singer. Now he steps him in the back, pointing out Abraham in the Greek mythology. He was even in Jerusalem with him. And now he steps him in the back. Tell him that I kill his child in the stomach of his wife. And after that, I pour his heart and cut out his throat through he's watching. You can call the police. But if I see him in my life, he will be killed, as I said." And then he said, "I'll say the same thing for you, Derek." Wow. El Shadi is his nomad of El Shadi. No, that means nomad of God Almighty. That's what that means. Crazy person. So I don't want to hear shit about, I got doxxed. I got a death threat. I got a death threat the other day. Welcome to the internet, dude. Welcome to the internet. No one cares. What else did I want to talk about today? Got a couple minutes left. Let's chill with the chat for the next 20 minutes. Sounds like a sane and well-adjusted individual. Yeah. Don't feed the energy vamps. Absolutely. You know what? You know who made $250,000 from having a death threat, from having a doxing death threat? Is Inspiring Philosophy. Do you guys know that? Look at this. Urgent. Help Michael's family move to safety. He raised, I think up to $250,000. I think right now. I don't know if it's still going or not. This is an old screenshot. So this guy, somebody sent him a picture of his house, I think, some Muslim. And so he freaked out, went on the internet, and now he's gonna buy a new mansion. That's Christianity for you. That's the infinite money glitch. Be a Christian on the internet, and you'll just be rich for the rest of your life. So, and I thought about that. People think, oh, Neil's monetized. If I really wanted to be a grifting, monetized grifter, I'll just be a Christian. I'll just lie. I'll just pretend I'm a Christian, and I'll be able to make as much. I'll be a millionaire within a couple of years, easy, if I really wanted to. But I don't. I stick to what I believe. Everything you hear from me is what I believe in. If I've ever changed my mind on something, it's not me. It's not me flip-flopping. It's me just changing my mind because this is what I believe now. So yes, I changed my mind on things because this is what I thought before. This is what I think now. So and people want to support me. I appreciate that as so much. You don't understand. I really do. But I'm not audience captured. I'm not cult captured. I'm not trying to please anybody. I'm not trying to further any agenda. That's why I became the brothel, because I wasn't falling in line with the fucking bullshit. I said, dude, your whole Septuagint is the original. It's not real. It's not based in reality. The idea that Hebrew is fake is just not real. The idea that Christ means drugs is not real. Simple stuff. Sindone is not a medical bandage. Neoniskos is not a prepubescent child. These are all lies. These are all simply lies. These are all simply lies. Simply just lies. There's nowhere else to say it. Like he's just lying to people, you know. And yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, Tyrant King. Appreciate you. We be pimping the porneia, bruh. You know what's an interesting passage though about talking about porneia is Revelation, the one about the cup of porneia, cup of wrath, Revelation is Revelation 14. Let's go to that real quick. Where is it? Cross Bible. Watch this. This is pretty cool. So I actually think that Johannine, when I say Johannine Christianity, I mean John's Gospel, the 3 John letters, plus Revelation. That's like a little mini New Testament within the mini New Testament. You also have the Lucan Gospel, or the Marcion Gospel, or Marcion New Testament, which is Luke, Acts, 7 epistles of Paul, and that's it. And then there's like the Matthean tradition, which is like Matthew, Hebrews, and Matthew, Hebrews, plus I think I would say Matthew, Hebrews, and the James epistle. And then I think Mark is aligned with the gospel or the epistle of Jude. I think they have a similar theology going on. Anyways, yeah, because Jude quotes from Enoch, and Mark is like the oldest layer of the gospel. It's like the Enochian Judaism type of Christianity. Anyways, those are just like ways you can parse out the New Testament. And the Johannine, to me, is the clearest tradition. And you have John's gospel, which introduces Christ as the new, or as the true vine, the ampelos, which is not in any other gospels. He's the true vine. He is he's turning water into wine in John 2. And there's a lot of Dionysian imagery going on in John. Well, in Revelation, it gets even more explicit. It's even more explicit when you go to Revelation. What is it? Fallen is Babylon the Great, which made the nations drink the maddening wine. So that is a Dionysian. If you ever read the Bacchae, here, I'll show you right now. Before we even touch this, we have to do a little bit of backstory and look at the Bacchae. He says, first of all, let me just back this up for a second. Watch this. You were out of your wits. The whole city was possessed by Bacchus. Dionysus destroyed us. I now realize this. He was like you in not worshiping the god. Also, the god joined you all. Both. So Dionysus brings wrath upon the people of Thebes because they don't recognize him as a god. That's it. That's what he does to them. And he completely turns them all mad and makes them rip apart Pentheus limb from limb. Watch what happens. O dearest of men, for even in death you are counted among those I love I best. No more will you touch this beard of mine, my son. Embrace me, call me grandfather, saying, who is the wrongdoing? Who is the troublesome? Tell me, Father, so I can punish him who wrongs you. Wait, this isn't the passage I'm looking for. It's the next one. I think I gotta keep going. Hold on a second. I'm going to find it. Okay, hold on 1 second. You got to see this. You got to see this. Here we go. Okay. This is like pretty. Oh, let's share the same screen again. Because of this, I myself have stung them into madness from their homes. They are out of their wits and live in the mountains, and I have forced them to wear the trappings of my rights. All the female seed of the Cadmeans, all the women there were. I have driven madness from their house. I already read that one. You will change your form and become a snake, whom you married, and will take on the form of a serpent. Then at the head of a barbarian army, you will drive an ox cart, will sack many cities with your innumerable hosts. That is what Zeus's prophecy says. And when they have plundered Apollo's oracle, they will have a miserable homecoming. Ares will rescue you in Harmonia and settle you to live in the land of the blessed. It is I, Dionysus, who make this prediction, and my father is not immortal, but Zeus. If you all had known, how to be moderate when you were refusing to, you would know that you would now have Dionysus as your ally and be enjoying blessedness. And they go, Dionysus, we entreat you, we wronged you. He says, it is too late. Your knowledge is too late when you needed it. He says the hour is too late. When you believed in me, it was at a time where it was not too late. I would have mercy on you, but the hour is now too late. Now in my godly form, you're too. This is the same message Christ gives you. This is the same message Christ gives you. If you believe in him before the hour, you are beloved. You are beloved by him. If you don't believe in him until it's too late, till after you're dead, and then you see him as God form, too late. You didn't pass the test. That's a Dionysian thing. It's a very Dionysian thing. For Dionysus does that. He has that same attitude. Luckily, Dionysus isn't the only god. So luckily he's not a monotheistic god. You know what I'm saying? Dionysus is just Dionysus. But it is interesting that the Christians sort of absorb that attitude into Jesus. You also see that with Yahweh too, though, and that's why Plutarch and Macrobius and others actually thought that Yahweh was Dionysus. They thought that Yahweh from the Septuagint was Dionysus for many reasons, but that was one of them. So if we go to the Bible, you can see what he says. Now when you read this is from the Johannine tradition, and you already know that John's gospel calls him the true vine. You already know that John's gospel makes him turn water into wine. The reader already knows all those things, and then they get to hear, and they see this. They see, fallen is the great Babylon, Babylon Hamegale. And it says right here, to thumu tes porneas. You're talking about, this is all about that porneia comment that I had up for a second. I think I put it away. Where was that? Where was that? One of you commented about porneia. I just want to put it back up on the screen if I can find it again. Right here. We pimping the porneia, bro. Well, look at this is what it says in Revelation. It says, to oinu, which is of the wine, to oinu, to thumu tes porneas, autes, of the maddening wine, and it makes the ethne, the nations, the Gentiles, which will make the Gentiles drink it. So they're going to make the Gentiles drink this maddening wine, which all the nations drink of the maddening wine of porneia, of adultery. So what the hell? That's some Dionysian shit. And then you keep going, and it says, for they too will drink keatos piatai ektu oino, of the wine to thumu, drink the wine to theo. So drink the furious wine of God. They'll drink the furious wine of God. But then the next line down is where the kicker comes in, where he says, akratu en toi potrio tes orges autu. Orges. There's that orgy. That's the orge. That's the wrath. It says potrio tes orges, the cup of his wrath. And this word is also one of the words that, like, Dionysus holds the cup in his images. The Dionysus cup. Watch this. The Dionysus cup. And you can see in his art, this is what it looks like. It's a cup like this. he holds this cup in his hand and a lot of images. See? There it is. That's Dionysus holding his cup. That's the cup of wrath. That's the cup of Orge. So okay, now that you know that, and then you're reading this text, you're going, taste Orges ought to. So they will be tormenting with burning sulfur and then this is another thing that I noticed that kind of has some Dionysian overtones. He takes a sickle and reaps because the time to reap has come. The harvest of the earth is ripe. This is the spring or I'm sorry, the fall time in Athens and in Eleusis was the time of the harvest, and it was a sacred time for Dionysus. Is when they would reap the fruits of the earth. So there's so much in this passage in Revelation that it sticks out at you that there's like some Dionysian imagery being applied to Christ. Right? So look at this right here. Look at this. This is so beautiful, dude. Look at this. Take your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of grapes from the earth's vine, because the grapes are ripe. Ampelu. See, there it is right there. Ampelu, the vine. So if we go to John 15, and then the angel swung its sickle, gathered all the grapes, and threw. Okay, this is the part that I really wanted you to see. This is the part that I really wanted you to see. There's actually a word in here that is one of the names of the festivals of Dionysus. Did you know this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? The angel swung his sickle, gathered its grapes, and threw them into the great winepress of God's wrath. This time it uses the word thumu instead of orge. But look what it says right here. Kai ebalen estain lenon. Lenon? What's that? Well, let's put a note in that for now. Let's keep reading. They were trampled in the winepress outside the city, and blood flowed out of the press, the lenos. And it says, Kai exelfane haima tes lenu. It says, and the blood of the press, the blood flowed of the press. Now, why am I making a big deal out of lenos? Because check this out. Look at this. Look at this. Ooh, I love this. I love this shit, dude. I love these parallels. They're so awesome. There's a whole goddamn festival called the Linnea. And it's literally the Winepress Festival. The Winepress Festival. And it's the festival of the year where they gather all the grapes with the sickle, and they bring them all together and they put them in the wine press and they make wine. And it takes place, and look, it involves the birth of Dionysus, Iacchus. And let's see here. So it's mentioned all the way back in 442 BCE. They probably moved to the theater of Dionysus, performed the city Dionysia. I think this is in the wintertime, but I'm not sure. When was the Linnea? This might be the spring one, actually. Yeah, this is January.
At Science dropped $2 super chat. Guys, Attis is Batman like Santa.
Addis is Batman like Santa. Wow. You're talking about this Addis right here? You're talking about the elf Addis that he has this the Phrygian hat, this one?
At Vacan_Pan_Danny B's dropped $5 super chat. Remember Canaan shares the roof with Crushed. Also happens to be the birthplace of Dionysus at Mount Nisus.
Yep, exactly. Dionysus was tied by early, even as far back as Homer, was tied to the east in the region between Phoenicia and Egypt. That's a good point. Let me pull that verse up actually. So that's in I think that's in Plutarch.
At Science dropped $5 super chat. Could it be that literature is based on real people, obviously?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it be? It's not always fake. Yeah, it's based on real stuff. It's a combination of both. Sometimes it's mythology, sometimes it's completely made up, sometimes it's completely true, sometimes it's in the middle. You know, it's just there's a wide range. Homeric hymns. Here we go. Where is it? Now I gotta find this shit. Wait, is this it right here? Dionysus was born when. Oh my god! I usually can find this source. I don't know why I can't find this one. Born near Egypt streams. Do I have to type in the whole damn thing? Here we go. There's a certain. Jesus. Here we go. All right, I found it. So back to what Bakken was saying. This is from the Homeric hymns. There is a certain Nisa, mountain high, rich growing streams, far off in Phoenicia, near Egypt streams. And that's saying that's where Dionysus is born. So yeah, that's Judea. That's Canaan. That's exactly what that is. There's a lot going on between Yahweh and Dionysus. There's the Chaldean oracles. Watch this. Chaldean oracles. Let me see if I can get this going. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. I gotta go. I'm at you half night. Okay, well, real quick. Yah-oh. Look at this. Dionysus Bacchus is called Yao or Yahweh in the Phoenician tongue, and he's called Sabaoth. We already saw that in the PGM, signifying that he is above the seven poles, the demiurgus. The Chaldeans, that's a place in for Hebrews sometimes, that word. That's from John, that's preserved in John the Lydian, but it's from I believe it's from a guy named Julian the Theurgus in the 2nd century who wrote that. And last but not least, I just want to show you where it says the true vine. John 15. Yeah, I think a lot of this literature is very much in the middle between like being historical and being mythological. I think there's some roots to it. I think there's historical precedent. It doesn't mean it's all historically accurate though. John 15. Look at notice how he says, I am the true vine, and he uses the same word later on, ampelos. Ampelos he elethiki. Elethine. He cuts off every branch and that bears no fruit. So this is so Dionysian going on. This is so much Dionysian. It's competition, yeah. I'm not saying that Jesus is secretly Dionysus, but there is such hardcore competition going on between John's Christ and Dionysus. Totally, 100%. And it's also Yahwistic in its core. John knows this. Whoever wrote John knows that there's a Dionysian Yahwism connection going on, and he's trying to riff. I think he's playing off of that. That's why Plutarch thinks Dionysus is Yahweh. So, anyways, I'm going to watch some House of Dragon, and I appreciate all you guys tonight. I've had a good time. I'm gonna get going, and I already noticed the chat jumped out like 150 in the last 10 minutes, just because they're probably going to watch that shit. And I don't blame them. It's a great show. You have just attained true gnosis.
You have just attained true gnosis. The demiurge has no power over you.